Afternoon, evening, morning, brunch, whatever it is, where you is. Welcome to Midnight's Edge After Dark. I am Tom Connors. I've got a kitty next to me. He's sleeping.
Aw.
He's not going to show himself on camera. He's being camera shy tonight. Joining us, we have the one, the only Canadian script doctor. How you doing?
I'm doing quite all right tonight. Thanks for having me, guys.
We're always glad to have you here. And also joining us, the one, the only Mod Supreme and producer extraordinaire. All the other titles you have. What else can I add to it?
Uber bitch.
You need like 6 titles because your name is 6.
My name is 6, yeah.
So you need 6 titles.
Well, I'm transgender non-binary, so please don't touch my penis.
That's 3 right there. I think we got 6 now. So there you go. Welcome, 6. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
That's good. I'm doing the best I can, and I'm glad to be here on MEAD because we've got a lot to talk about today. There's a lot of news. You sent me a few things that were very interesting, and we've got some other topics here. Most of which you sent me, but okay.
You would have stumbled across them eventually.
I found something that we could have some fun with later on too. It's gonna be kind of funny. But let's see who's in the chat here. We got Trav 101. Ham Dinger is here. And I is here too. We got Valiant, who could come into the show if he wanted to. We got Galvin in the house. We got Chris Persia. Captain Fandom Nerd is here. We got Duck Nation. Shrap 3D. Shoom is here. Anthony Betts is here. Welcome to guys to the show. We appreciate it. Pete Dencat is here as well. Hit that like button. Share the stream out. Let everybody know that we are live. Wow, I'm surprised there's a lot of you here already. So thank you for that. Judicon, Batmanuel, Fanto5692, thank you for being here. Dan Micah1, Coffee Lovers in the house. Thank you for being here, guys. We appreciate it. And hello to you, Marks47 and Amplify Create, and KB and Jack Silver, and all you. The Liato? The Liato. Is that how you say that? I don't remember. We got Rave Girl here as well. D-Bud Martin's in the house. There's your internet boyfriend.
Hi, D-Bud Martin.
And then we have Southern Viking. There's a Southern Viking? Oh, cool. Oh. Round here in these parts, we Viking better than they do in the north. We pillage 10 times harder.
In our bare feet.
In our bare feet, no less. Like 6 said. Yeah, we got some more Orville coming, so we got a trailer. Did you guys get a chance to check that out?
Nope.
Nope. Are you a fan of the Orville 6?
I think I saw like a teaser of that this afternoon.
I sent you the link, Valiant, in your DM. Refresh your Twitter.
I saw the first episode of the Orville and I absolutely loved it, but
and then what?
Then there's other stuff to watch too.
Oh.
But no. I do what I've seen, I love, so I'm gonna call myself a fan.
Oh shit! I forgot to hit enter. It's there. It was there.
Forgot to hit enter.
Well, I did send out a few at the same time, so I haven't got to watch that yet, Stephanie. So don't spoil it for me, please. I'm hoping to watch it after I get done doing all kinds of work and crap because I've had a day from hell, to be honest with you.
When are you guys going to do your roundtable?
It's a good question. Being that this is the 5th episode, maybe we should start now because we're like halfway through.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think, Script?
Wait, 5th episode of what?
The Offer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. We should do one soon.
Yeah, I know we've been talking about it. I know Paulie wanted to talk about it too. I know I debated on staying up last night, but I thought I had to be up this morning for something I didn't have to be up for, but it was a good thing I was up. So, yeah. Anyhow, I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I plan to tonight. And we've got Wild Rose, who's been a member for 7 months at the minimum effort puppy level. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. We also got a super chat from House of Trades right off the bat before the show started, who said, "Hail, Mead. Ward Carroll's retired F-14 Rio review of Top Gun 2 is up on his channel. He recommends seeing it at IMAX, and it's better than the first movie." Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
Hello, Valiant. How are you doing?
I was like, I sent you the link. I'm looking at my Twitter.
I did, but I guess I didn't hit enter.
He sent it by Pony Express.
I
know.
did.
That's fine.
But welcome, my friend. Yeah, I've been hearing good stuff about it. I'm not a huge fan myself of the original Top Gun, but I saw the more latest trailer, I guess, whatever you would call it, in when I went to see Doctor Strangelove, and nobody caught that. Anyway, when I saw Doctor Strange, and of course I like talking
if Peter
to you.
Sellers had been in
This
it,
is a
I
friendly
might go to see it.
call. But listen, if it wasn't a friendly call, you wouldn't even have got it. Hey, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
I liked the buffet spread. That was
This is one of the funniest fucking films ever. Speaking of one of the funniest films ever, we've got one coming up here soon.
Hopefully,
I guess.
it'll be funny.
I don't know if this one's going to be funny, but the original was, let's say.
Oh, yeah.
That we can say. But I don't know. We're going to talk about that. That one's probably the thing that I'm the most interested in talking about today. But we got a super sticker from Brett Cohen. Thank you so much, Brett, who sends us a little Shiba dog saying, hiya. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. That makes me smile. After the day I've had, I could use that. So yeah, let's get rolling here. So 6, you're not a big, huge Orville fan. Valiant, are you an Orville fan?
I really haven't watched much of it, to be honest.
All right, well, that didn't work out too well. Script.
Yeah.
I've only heard good stuff. I'll say that much.
I've seen the first 2 seasons. I enjoyed them. It's hit and miss, but the misses are not terrible. They're still entertaining. That's the more important part of it.
Well, famously, I'm not a big Seth MacFarlane fan. I don't know how famous that is anymore, but it used to be that way before the Orville. And then after the Orville, those in the chat who know me more or have known me longer know that I was a huge fan of the show, and I gave Seth credit for being able to pull together a show that was not only charming and humorous, but felt like classic Star Trek. And you could slap the name Star Trek on it and call it Star Trek Orville, and it would be a show that would fit right into that TNG era.
Oh, yeah.
For a while, it was my Star Trek. And it sucks that we hadn't gotten any for a little bit, but now we got a new trailer. It looks like it's bigger, it's badder, it's funnier, more amazing, longer.
It looks like it's deliberately mocking Discovery.
They are deliberately mocking Discovery. I heard from a very, very reliable source that this is the case. Yes.
So it's already a win. In other words,
they already had thrown in some little.
And the second
bits of
season,
shade
they did
and a couple
number of good ones. Yeah.
But I guess this season they really amp it up from what I heard. So, but I guess that's what happens when you tell Seth MacFarlane he can't make Star Trek, huh?
more or less.
So I kind of gained a little bit of respect for the guy, but I was never a big, huge fan of him. Like for those who don't know, like I felt about Family Guy like Cartman did. If you've ever seen the South Park episode where he tries to get Family Guy canceled,
yeah. Well, that was that came out after the second the second revival of Family Guy.
Either way, like
the first season was a straight up parody of the classic family sitcoms from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And then
it started out okay.
Then it became the
remember the time
odd segue joke.
This is worse the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I hate about it. Like, that's when I got out of it. I'm like, this sucks. Like, this isn't even a joke that has anything to do with the show. Now, American Dad, I respect it a little bit more because at least that show, the jokes were inherent to the plot, right? You didn't get a bunch of the remember the times or this is worse than the time joke.
It's more like what persona does Roger have this episode and how does it relate to these other people, which I think is brilliant.
Roger's great, yes.
Yeah.
My other favorite episode of American Dad I don't think Roger's even in it that much. It's the DeLorean episode.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one too, yeah.
Yeah,
there's also a James Bond parody episode they did, which was fantastic.
But my favorite Roger bit is when he walks in the room and he slams the cheese nips down on the ground. He goes, if you don't know the difference between Cheez-Its and cheese nips, then I just don't know anymore.
That was one of the early seasons.
Yeah, that was an early one. That was when I was hooked on the show. I'm like, all right, that made me laugh. That was good. Because there was a few bits in that early Family Guy that really kind of got me. Like, holy crap, it's a children in the corn. Like, that one really got me. Like,
yeah.
There's a few
Well,
good ones,
as
but
soon as
like,
Stewie abandoned trying to kill Lois, that's when
Yeah.
the show died.
A
yeah,
lot of people said that. Yeah.
that kind of is where it lost the gimmick. That's true.
But remember when they came back to it in one of the later seasons after it got rebooted and they did the whole cruise ship thing where he did actually like, blow her away with the Tech 9 and like, because
I
that
don't
was
remember
part of
seeing that.
they were doing a cruise and Peter and Lois were on the cruise and Stewie comes up in like an inflatable boat, gets on the boat. He's all in like this tactical gear and he kills her. He finally kills Lois, blows her away, just mows her down with a 9mm automatic. And it was like a 2 or 3 part episode or portion, if I remember right.
Is
But
that the
was,
one where like there's time travel and they kill Stewie again or something of that nature?
Wait, now I've seen that because I say what they did.
No, I don't
was
think that was the same one.
I think that's different because that was what they advertised as the Family Guy movie. Because I remember they released it. It was basically the first 3 episodes of that season put on DVD before the season came out. Because I remember getting that at the video store. But yeah, that's the time travel one where he meets himself as an adult.
Yeah,
or whatever.
That was different, I think. No, this was like they actually went to court, and Peter was accused of killing Lois because he was on the cruise with her, and then at like the end of it, Stewie comes in and admits that he did it, and but Lois manages to survive somehow. I kind of forget the whole way it went around, but it was I think a 2 or 3 part.
Because doesn't it end in the Oval Office and Peter Griffin does the Lethal Weapon 2 joke, but it has no context in that scene? It's just been revoked. Like, doesn't he do that?
Oh yeah, diplomatic immunity. Yeah. I don't remember if that was that one or not. You might be right.
It's hard to watch because a lot of the Family Guy stories can easily bleed over into any other episode because they're not entirely specific.
Not wrong.
Yeah. No, it's not footage of Script getting arrested, although I would love to see that.
They'd never catch me.
Yeah.
I did it, but it doesn't matter.
He's too fast. They won't catch him. Lord Almighty. I tell you, kids, we've got some other stuff to talk about besides Orville, but I'm looking forward to that. That's about a month away, not even.
Yeah, it'll
June
be
6th,
great.
I think it starts, or 2nd.
It's coming. It's coming soon. It's on Hulu. I hope people will start watching it because they're not watching much of anything on Hulu. Sadly, Hillary Duff's magazine cover got more attention than her Hulu show How I Met Your Father.
It was a pretty good magazine cover.
Well, I mean, listen, for all her accomplishments, that's great because I've crossed paths with her a number of times in my early career. And yeah, she had a lot of issues trying to maintain a healthy body weight. That was the other part, too, because she had husky arms is one of the things that she referred to having at the time that she was always disappointed in.
Husky arms?
Yeah, there's this thing that
is that a thing, Six?
Well, not in normal world, but in Holly world, it's
Holly World.
Yeah,
I think husky is what size Bobby was from King of the Hill. I think he was husky size.
Yeah, but husky arms? Like
it's this part where the arms don't have any definition and they're not slender, but they're not fat.
When you say that, I think of Popeye, I guess. I don't know.
No, those are sailor arms. Those are
that's true.
Those are lonely man's arms.
Speaking of sailors, a man who's probably hung out with a lot of sailors, and I don't know what that implies, but hey, Polly.
Wow.
That wasn't right, man. That no.
That was good.
No, and no.
He's the son of a sailor.
Yeah. Anyways, what's happening, everybody?
Hey, Paulie. You're looking good, man.
Thanks.
Like the hat.
Feeling good, Billy. Was it looking good?
Yeah.
Was it
Feeling
Trading
good,
Places?
Billy Ray? Yeah, at the end of Trading Places. Yeah.
Thank you. Feeling good, Billy Ray. Some shit like that. Anyways,
yeah.
I feel good, yes.
Lewis
and then Valiant just always looks the same. I don't think
you know what?
changes.
At my age, I'll take it.
I mean, he I swear he wears the same shirt, the same hat.
If you don't mind me asking, Valiant, I'm older than you.
He's always got the same length of stubble.
I'll be 43 this year.
Huh?
I said I'll be 43 this year.
I'll be 52 this year.
There you go. You look a lot better than me. I know.
I'm just saying.
Fuck you. That's all I'm gonna say.
You know what? I'm gonna leave. I don't need to.
No, Polly.
If I want to get cursed at, I will call Mexican Iron Man.
I look 52, and you look my age, and that's not fair.
It's sugar, man, or not sugar. It's corn syrup.
Corn syrup.
Yeah.
It's also genetics, man. I got my parents look younger than me.
Oh fuck.
They look good.
I guess, man. So that mean you're gonna get young? You got the Benjamin Buttons disease?
I'm just saying that it's a funny thing, in families such as that I come from, they're darker than I am, and they are aging, very gracefully.
Well, then they probably should not go to Milwaukee or anywhere like that, or any place that's a big city, because the cops around everywhere are racist as fuck. If you didn't know this,
what?
Like, oh my gosh, this is like the latest thing. I caught this video here. Speaking of video, you guys have got to see this.
That are terrible.
Shh. Don't ruin it.
Oh, God.
All right, let's see this video.
Okay.
You ready to make your first?
Oh, we got Gary here too with a J.
How do you know we're gonna arrest
Hey, Gary with a
him?
J.
We haven't even talked to him yet. Oh, come on, Mark. You heard the radio call. The suspect's black, loitering. What more do you need to know? I don't know. Maybe he's innocent. Well, whatever. All right.
Is that real? No,
this is fucking real.
This is not real.
This is fucking real.
No, it's
these
not
are hired
real,
actors.
These are actors.
officers.
We got a complaint.
I mean, yeah, it's a real
about
PSA
someone fitting your
thing.
description, loitering around here.
Oh, really? No complaints around here. I'm just waiting on my friend.
Do you have any ID on you?
Yeah, sure.
So tell me, Mr. James Washington, what are you doing here today?
Well,
Let's come up with
officer,
stereotypical
me
names.
and my friend are going to a game, and I'm just waiting for him to pick me up.
Well, I highly that you'll be seeing a game.
Wait, what do you mean?
You heard what I said.
Officer, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just waiting for my friend.
See that sign over there? Can you read it?
Loitering? Really, officer?
Mark, you got your handcuffs out?
Yes, sir.
What?
A
Please
few
handcuff
minutes
this
ago,
man.
Mark was not racist. Now he is.
What are you doing?
Stay still. Get down on one knee. Get down. Get down. Down. All the way down. All the way down.
Wait, don't they write tickets?
Don't
for
make this
loitering?
any harder on yourself, boy. Get up.
Yeah, loitering is actually not an
Look at that rope
arrest
over there.
offense.
There's a rope hanging there.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, who would throw out a perfectly good rope like
Yeah,
that?
the holy
that's a good
hell?
rope. That's an expensive rope.
What is this a PSA for?
This is the
No.
kind of shit they show in the diversity and inclusion crap at these fucking meetings.
So
I
what?
don't
You
wanna
might try to
see this.
resist again.
Yeah, this is
Come
real
on,
shit.
just do what I say.
When I meant real, I meant it's like a real thing they show.
This is disgusting.
Oh, it gets better. There's better ones than
At
this.
what training meeting are they showing this bullshit?
All kinds of places, I guess.
Well,
I mean,
props
that
to the
looks
actors
like
for
that-
not breaking character and laughing their asses off at how ridiculous.
That's not even the best one. The
That
best
looks like the test scene for Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Here's the best one, yeah.
That's how stupid that show was.
I'm just jealous because if I could find a rope that reliable just outside the trash, I would totally take it, but not for.
What did I tell you criminals about coming back to my neighborhood?
Oh no, Roy, let's just get out of here.
No, Vin. I won't let her ruin our fun.
Oh my God! What
We
the
aren't breaking
fuck?
any laws by having fun here at the park. I won't let you intimidate us.
Look at those
anymore.
amazingly
Are you
tweezed
talking
eyebrows.
back to me, boy?
What?
I guess you forgot who used to own your kind, and I'm about to remind you of that right now.
Okay. Oh God.
This shit is fucked up.
Vince, help!
Don't
You're
you
telling me
touch
the
him, or I will
wizard
knock
in
your
her
teeth
purse?
out.
Roy, hang on. I'll get some help.
Set it up.
Oh, put it on.
There we go.
All right. That was a lucky shot.
Man, if I had legs, I'd still score on you. I got skills, son. Don't play me.
Hey, my bad, Kobe. Hey, by the way, man, I'm sorry to hear about your dad. Yeah, I heard about the car accident in the news. And
Hey, man, it's okay. I know I'm in a wheelchair now, and I won't be able to live my dream of playing in the NBA, but at least me and my mom are still alive. I was grateful for that. You know?
for sure. I'm glad you're alive too, bro. That way, I can keep trying to dunk on you.
You can keep trying.
It's just, yeah, I gotta jump
It's like
ahead
a
here.
slow motion
Wish they all just
train
went
wreck.
away.
It is. It's
12
fucking.
minutes?
That way we could keep
Yeah, this
it
is
pure
the full
like the good old
version.
days.
Oh God, no.
Yeah. First, she comes up and pops their ball. I'll get to the better part.
Hey, there are no criminals here. You know that loitering is illegal, right? Not that you're.
Yeah.
Don't you touch him, or I will knock your teeth out.
Roy, hang on. I'll get some help.
Hang
Aw, look.
Who carries a
You
whip?
disabled,
This lady?
crippled piece of trash.
According to them, white people evidently.
Is this
No,
Phoebe
it's coming
Waller
for you.
Bridge from Indy 5?
looks like
I mean,
Not worth it.
that's why she's
You
carrying a
and your
whip.
kind, you are worthless. Now, it's been what, 180 years since slavery was abolished?
Jesus Christ.
And I'm going to give you a lash for every year that God-given right was taken away from me.
I don't care.
This cannot
You can
be
try and hurt
serious.
me, but you won't break my spirit. My mom told me not
Or
to
my
be afraid
perfectly
of
tweezed
evil people
eyebrows.
like you.
And where's your mama now, huh? It's just you and me. So let's have a little fun.
His mama is right here. Nobody makes a boy like that,
Yeah.
baby. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Then
Smack her.
call the cops
He would've
and
smacked- he
tell
would've-
them that there's a lunatic at the park going around whipping people.
Wait, he ran
Hello,
away
police?
first and then
Yeah, we have a
the
hate
mom,
crime at
then to call the
Greensboro Park.
No, wait a minute. Are they actually
Main
calling the
Street.
cops?
No,
But they're
he's finally
racist
calling the
too.
cop.
Baby,
Yeah.
are you okay?
Yeah, but if you call the
Yes,
cops, they're
Mom.
racist.
Give
You're
me a-
right.
Yeah, they're gonna
What the
arrest her.
fuck?
It's gonna be like a gang arrest. And it's like 3 people attacked the woman, and all she had to defend herself was with a whip.
This is so.
I mean,
the
Jesus
dullest
Christ,
shit
they're going to
ever.
be consistent.
I'm not gonna lie, the acting is pretty much on par with the majority of fan films I've seen for various IPs across the
Oh,
board.
yeah, that's really bad acting. And oh my God,
So-
those tweezed eyebrows. Jeez.
Tom, where is that from?
I found it on Twitter, man. And I just kind of followed the rabbit hole. I have no idea. I guess these are like some PSA things that are done for some diversity training shit.
It can't be. There's no. I mean, look, I have sat through a score of compliance videos in my 20-year career with some of the worst actors and performances you could possibly imagine. I have never seen anything that approaches that level of stupidity. That just cannot be.
I don't like the message of saying if your friend's in trouble from a weak lady with a whip, run away and to get help. When it's like, no, you can just push her over. She's tiny.
And I gotta
Yeah, he's like 10 times
Grab
your
your
size.
friend who's in a wheelchair who you don't need to really help much. I mean, you could run with a wheelchair pretty successfully actually, and just
Well,
take
as you
somebody
watch
away.
something like this script, don't you just sit there and think, this has got to be a parody? This can't be real.
At first, I did.
I'm waiting for it to be like a trailer to like a Tropic Thunder 2.
Yeah, right.
Well, that was what the thing is I thought it was a parody at first, and I'm like, wait, this shit has got to be real because this stuff is like going on. And then, like I said, I went down the rabbit hole a little bit. So yeah. Oh, I already did, Clay. I already did. I did. I sent it to him, so they're gonna have some fun with that. We got Night of Snoke in the house who sent us $1 and wants to know what film TV writers are actually known to look at fan criticism to take into account to make improvements, and what writers are known to ignore. Some are Ryan Johnson, Kevin S. Thanks. Boy.
Well, the smart writer doesn't look at any of that stuff.
I was going to say, most of them who are probably smart don't even get on
smart
social
writers
media,
are good
period.
writers, and yeah,
No,
they don't.
They only track basically the ratings and what's being and the trades with regards to their show. The real test of if they're a success or not is when they do the conventions, and they go to like one of the cons, and then they see the turnout. That's usually the only stuff they take legit. And I would say kind of rightfully so, because if you're a fan big enough to spend money, plane tickets, hotel to go see people of the show or movie you're working on, that shows a camaraderie between what you're doing and how they're responding. And then you can also get great feedback from them as well and gauge how they're picking up on what you're doing and where to go that might satisfy them in the future.
Stop making sense.
Don't make sense.
Dude, I'm very happy with a lot of these CW cancellations. There's nothing more entertaining than blood in the water of those that don't actually do well.
You ain't lying.
Because
Over
it's
on
all I
CBS,
see is
there are a lot of
opportunities now. It's like,
cancellations,
oh
too.
man, they have 9 slots available for next year. That's a shot. That's 9 more slot chances I have
Yep.
that I didn't have yesterday. So,
Exactly. CBS did some cancellations too. Most of them were deserved, but I personally was upset over the cancellation of United States of Al because it's a very pro-veteran, pro-Afghan show. It shows PTSD in a proper light. It's a really good show, and it got canceled.
I think it's because it had a bad time slot and almost zero marketing behind it. Because I remember when the first trailer blew up on Twitter last year, but I don't remember the release date around when it dropped for air, and that's pretty bad.
That's probably the problem. And I know that they were balancing, but they ended up canceling a show that deserved it. Was the show that was the other show that he's producing, Be Positive, which I heard was woke as fuck, and I'm like, yeah, I'll never watch that.
Yeah.
And once again, CBS doesn't care.
There is, I think, a show called Woke, but I don't know.
A show called Woke?
Yeah, I think it's on Hulu.
Like they just fucking cut through the middle.
Yeah,
man,
I think it was sort of like
we're gonna call this show.
I bet
Woke.
money
Fuck
that it was
it.
just like that videos we just watched.
I think it came out like 2 years ago, and I think it's still.
Yeah,
let me double check.
I saw the first season. It came out like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's still going.
And it actually wasn't bad because.
Oh, really?
It kind of makes
fun
of
it. Oh, okay.
Well, the first season did, right?
Yeah.
But then at the end, the lead character, who's like a comic book writer, it's not bad. And then at the end, you don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah,
but
it does.
I purposely watched it because of the title, but it was it's a couple years ago. It was funny. Like there was some good jokes in it.
Wow,
I'm gonna be in the movie. I'm playing Saddam Hussein. No, you're playing Emperor Saddam.
Yeah, Saddam. Oh shit, I forgot his last name.
Saddam Hussein, Emperor Saddam. This is some good news. Christopher Walken has joined Dune Part 2, so that's moving along quickly. It looks like good choice.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
He just
like
needs
Chris.
to do a bit from the Continental in the movie.
Wow. Some champagne.
6, what do you think of this?
Champagne.
I'm not familiar with the character Emperor Saddam the Fourth.
Did you watch the first part?
No, but
Okay.
I own it, so that's practically the same thing.
Okay.
But I am a Christopher Walken fan, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I think he'll work just fine in the role. I like the cast they're bringing in so far, the people I've heard, so looks like it's coming together nicely.
I've been watching Nerd Cookies videos too on this stuff. She just did one on Christopher Walken.
It says Top Gun Maverick left out Kelly McGinnis. Why the original star was never asked to return. Can we take a guess as the answer to that?
Because she didn't take care of herself.
I was just going to say.
Retire?
Yeah, pretty much. Does it really say? Not really. I'm old and I'm fat and I look appropriate for my age. That's what she said.
That makes sense. I was going to say that, but I didn't want to be a bitch.
Yeah, she just. Yeah.
I was a bitch. I simply said she didn't take care of herself.
Yeah, it is what it is. So there you go. There's the answer to that age-old question. And who's into Madonna's FNTs?
No.
Not in.
Nobody.
You sure you don't want them?
Nope, definitely not.
Nobody?
Mm-mm.
FNTs are a scam.
I'm pretty sure. Here's something that might also be a scam. And I want it to be good. Cannes Hot Package. Spinal Tap 2 on tap is Rob Reiner, Michael McKean, Christopher Guest, and Harry Shearer back for Encore.
Well, Rob Reiner's got to do something. His career tanked.
Well, I wish Rob Reiner wasn't even involved. After relaunching its film division last October, Castle Rock Entertainment has set a first project out of the gate that will have a familiar ring. It's Spinal Tap 2, a sequel to the fabled rockumentary mockumentary that set the film company run of hits, many of them directed by Rob Reiner. He made his directorial debut on the original film. Reiner will direct the sequel and return as filmmaker Marty DeBurgi. Also back are David St. Hubbins, Derek Smalls, and Nigel Tufnell, the nucleus of England's loudest and sussiest heavy metal band. The package comes after the Cannes Film Festival announced the original will screen on the beach as part of the Cinema de Plog sidebar on Wednesday. So the movie's already done?
No, they announced the packaging sale, didn't they?
Oh, okay. The package, okay. I was gonna say.
Which means that they're selling international rights and distribution.
Gotcha. Okay, I was gonna say, what the fuck?
Because
Okay.
I think Rob Reiner's part of Castle Rock. Like, I think he's a head
Yeah.
honcho.
Oh, yeah. He's the guy who started it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Read that paragraph right under the second paragraph under that header related story.
Right here. This
That
one.
Yeah, that
Okay.
one.
Guess McKean, Reiner, and Shearer will conceive the new film. Okay. Frank Marshall will produce.
Congo.
Ah, now we know what Frankie's been up to. Frankie, you surprised us.
Well, what else is he doing?
Well, it's like Keith and I talked about this previously, that it's like we should start a show trying to find Frank Marshall. Just scouring the globe looking for him.
In search of Frank Marshall?
God, you brought the Scotsman on.
He's a break, man. And look, notice I'm underneath you as well. This is so demeaning.
That's because I'm a power top.
You're a bottom all day long.
Well, I figured since we lost Mr. Van Halen, rest in peace, I figured I got to go with the second best band in the world, and we got to bring them back. Bring them back. Tap.
I know. When I saw you were talking
Tap.
about Spinal Tap, I had to come on and participate for a short while. So
I'm gonna
thank you
produce
for
it.
having
I
me.
know your favorite part was the Stonehenge part.
Yeah, well, I was one of the little guys that was dancing around it, so that was
We're
my
not
claim to
doing
fame.
fucking Stonehenge.
Yeah, it was based on a real band that did a Stonehenge thing. I can't remember who it was. Somebody did an actual Stonehenge. And it was Iron
I
Maiden
thought
or
that
something.
was a story was loosely based on the time when the Animals show in Pink Floyd when the one pig fucking deflated or
Well,
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think
it
I heard that
escaped.
back in the 80s too. Yeah.
That's the problem is there's so many bands that are like, oh yeah, that was based on our story. And then they're like, no, it really wasn't. We just did it. And it just happened to be something that must have happened to you. Because like Alice
Yeah.
Cooper's like, yeah, we used to get lost on the way to the stage all the time.
That's
It's like-
right. Well, you know the
that's
best
a normal
story.
theater joke, man. Like any of those guys who worked in theater music knew like some of the backstage tunnels to the theater itself are just a maze.
Rock and roll.
Well, my favourite story is that Steve Tyler of Aerosmith was so out of his mind that one night they changed the set and they did the song they normally finish the set with. They did it first, so he comes on, he sings it, says "Thank you, good night," and he walks off the stage. And they couldn't get him to come back.
Oh Jesus.
He thought the gig was over. He was so out of it, you know.
Deadline caught up with Reiner, and here is how he described the ambition. The plan is to do a sequel that comes out on the 40th anniversary of the original film, and I can tell you hardly a day goes by without someone saying, why don't you do another one? For so many years, we said, nah. It wasn't until we came up with the right idea, how to do this. You don't want to just do it to do it. You want to honor the first one and push it a little further with the story. The three members who wrote the music and lyrics, some with Reiner, for standards like Smell the Glove, Hellhole, Big Bottom, and Lick My Love Pump, have in the past toured as the band, though not recently. They played Albert Hall, played Wembley Stadium, all over the country and in Europe, Reiner said. They haven't spent any time together recently, and that became the premise. The idea was that Ian Faith, who was their manager, he passed away. In reality, Tony Hendra passed away. Ian's widow inherited a contract that said Spinal Tap owed them one more concert. She's basically going to sue them if they didn't. All these years and a lot of bad blood will get into, and they're thrown back together to force to deal with each other and play this concert. There you go.
And is
So
Reiner
the derivative
directing?
reunion tour concept, which they had to wait 40 years to come up with this idea.
And then he goes, I'm back playing Marty DeBurgi. The band was upset with the first film. They thought I did a hatchet job, and this is my chance to redeem myself. I am such a big fan. I felt bad they didn't like what they saw in the first film. When I heard they might get back together, I was visiting a adjunct teacher helping at the Edwood School of Cinematic Arts. I drop everything to document this final concert. The film is set to be released on March 19th of 2024. Awesome. Sounds like fun. Holy cow. Now we got everybody here. Got all kinds of people here. Oh, it's Mad.
Oh, thank
Ahoy,
God
hoy.
Mad's under me. That's good. He's at the bottom.
Oh, shit.
I'm power bottom. Anyway, what's happening?
Well,
we're talking about
just
Spinal Tap.
admitted it.
And you admitted that you're a power bottom.
You can be a power bottom with girls.
No.
No?
Yeah, you can.
Only Kevin Smith thinks that
Girls with dicks.
What stream am I on?
Those are called
Girl,
guys.
You
girl.
decided to come here, mister.
So
This is when I was classing up the joint.
You were.
I didn't start this. I just came in.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to
You know where the
Spinal
exit
Tap.
is.
This doesn't
But,
look so bad, Tom. Looks pretty good. And
Script, you brought up some interesting points though before the show about what you would have done instead anyway, that I thought was a better idea.
Well, I mean, here's the story of music. I mean, especially over the last like 15 years, is that you have those revival and reunion tours right after the band breaks up. You go with the reunion tours. It's been done too many times, far too many times. If I were to do a Spinal Tap sequel, I would make the band have never broken up. They're just playing tours, but they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller with every year. But they still think that they're living in the 80s, because that's kind of the joke, is the fact that these three guys are actually very disconnected from everything around them. So yeah, you want to play in on that. And I think nothing better to do than parody a little bit of the Rolling Stones when they were kind of on a decline in the late 90s. Their tours, they weren't touring as much. And then we had a pandemic in Toronto. I remember because I lived there at the time. And it hurt the city. And then the Stones decided to hold a festival in Toronto with a whole bunch of other bands to reinvigorate tourism to the city. And it worked.
yeah.
And it was in 2003. And it was called SARS stock because of the virus that broke out. And I went to that, and it was actually a lot of fun. And I thought, wouldn't it be funny if Spinal Tap did the same thing for the current era pandemic that we had, where they start the band tour, and their whole goal is to debut a brand new song that they've been working on for 40 years, kind of like a little Guns N' Roses type of thing, like for their second album or whatever it was. I can't remember exactly the details. And they by the day of the concert, they still haven't finished or perfected their headlining song. So they have the 3 hours of the concert to try and write a song to do it. And and then other bands are debuting their new song, and other classic things, like you get Aerosmith back, like you have like the Blues Brothers and any sort of the newer younger bands, and how the younger bands are like influenced by Spinal Tap. Like that's why they all started. And it's like, oh, that's great. And it's like, yeah, we wrote this great song, and they realize, oh, maybe it's better than what they got. You can't play that. No, it sucks. You shouldn't play that.
Like Shanatsky
stuff.
says here, Spinal Tap going on their 13th final tour.
Yeah, pretty much.
Farewell tour. Yeah, 13th.
But it's basically just to try and reinvigorate their career, because I remember like there was a big Stones kind of tour revival after that year for a good.
Well, that was the joke, is the Stones were always constantly, this is their final tour. This is their final tour. AC/DC was the same thing, right? Like this is their final tour. Yeah, till the
actually,
next one.
AC/DC played at Starstock.
They were at the Starstock. Yeah, I remember that script.
Yeah.
I think I still want to see Nigel Tufnell selling shoes. So they have to be broken
say
up.
that they can't do that, though. That's the
No,
brilliance.
hold on, script. They have to be broken up so we can see all of them do what they talked about. Like they got to try to produce Saucy Jack. We have to see Nigel selling shoes or trying to and we got to see someone else blow up.
And another drummer die from.
Another drummer has to die.
You know what's sad is they actually just lost the actual drummer, like the guy who played the drummer in the movie. He just passed away.
Yeah.
So
he
perfect
passed away.
joke to remember him by.
Well, see, I look at it more like they are all doing that stuff, but it's not successful. But they're still doing the band tour. So like every concert they do is sponsored by one of their businesses to try and drum up traffic to it, and it's basically like the amphitheater show that they did in the movie, all of them.
Oh, Tap Mach 2?
Something like that, yeah.
Jazz Odyssey.
We cannot
No.
do improvisational
Odyssey.
jazz in front
Front of a
carnival
audience.
crowd.
I mean,
this could
yeah,
be
there's
good.
some fun. There's definitely some great stuff that they can. They gotta hit the member berries though. I don't give a shit. I want Stonehenge again. Yeah,
Like they nail Stonehenge, but instead of feet, they do it in meters. So
It's too big.
It doesn't
Yeah.
fit the stage.
The thing is that some of their shit is so like cancelable.
Yeah, the joke is like
nowadays.
Stonehenge is here. Okay, bring it in. Well, we got like 6 trucks.
We
What do you
can't
mean
fit it in
6
the
trucks?
building.
Well, it's
So
just like
only
we were talking
one
about Born in
pillar
East
is in
LA.
there.
Born in East LA yesterday, Tom. Like half of the stuff couldn't be that brand of humor.
I have never seen Spinal Tap.
Really?
That explains
Wow.
a lot.
A lot of people have
Wow.
it.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, who is this for? Like,
It's
how?
kind of a lost gem.
It's a
I wouldn't
cult
say
classic.
it's completely lost, but it's definitely called. I mean, it made money when it came out. It did very well. But
Well, it's considered one of the greatest comedies.
I mean,
It
it's
really-
all we talked about for weeks in high
It really
school.
is.
He's got
Endlessly
to 11.
quotable.
Yeah.
I was just at work today. We were just talking about that scene. It just is endlessly quotable.
Oh, yeah.
So you
This
work
is
like with
actually an
all
X-ray of my
seniors.
skeleton.
I do work with seniors.
yeah, but it's not really green like that.
Why don't
Yes,
you
it
make
is.
the pen louder?
So
It's
many
like-
great lines.
It's
So
like
many
your
great-
blood. It's not really red, right? It's blue.
But look, you see right here. See this vein right here? Oh, that's not my bone. I mean, we used to do those lines in high school. Not lines.
No, I'm sure you did.
Oh yeah. But
There's some even great shit that got cut out of the movie. Like some of the deleted scenes alone are worth their own movie in
Well,
themselves.
they made a whole complete almost movie out of those. If you
Yeah, there's
look.
like an hour of deleted
There's an hour
scenes
and
on
a
them.
half or something.
Yeah. And like they go to the zoo and they're like at the monkey place and they're like, monkeys are like the only creature besides humans who have been able to make bread. Yes,
But
they're
also-
bread-making species.
Yeah, but also, Matt, the lyrics themselves were comedy bits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have this song called Big Bottom. How can I,
Leave
the
this
sweeter the
behind.
Talk about mud flaps. My girl's got them.
right.
Oh yeah,
You know.
like the Folksmen used to open for Spinal Tap when
The
they did some
Folksmen.
tours.
Sex farm.
Well, Matt, the biggest joke is that people thought they were a real band when they were filming it.
Yeah.
That's what was so amazing about it.
No, yeah. I mean, I get all that. I just don't like. I don't know. I hope you guys aren't excited because, like, for me, I'm not excited for anything that's being remade or being extended. Like today, like Top Gun, I'm not excited to see the sequel.
Oh, I'm
They're-
totally excited
they're-
to see Top Gun.
I am too.
They're not even playing volleyball. They're playing football with girls on the beach. No one's wearing denim. That's not Top Gun.
Man,
Is it still shirts and skins?
I
would
heard
definitely
it's pretty
play football
sexy.
With a girl.
I heard it's pretty
I would
sexy,
play
though.
football with a girl in a heartbeat.
No, the original was
lot of
sexy.
He does have a
contact.
point about the girls there.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then they let them try to do the Top Gun high five and they failed. It's in the trailer.
I just don't want to see Tom Cruise singing. I'm good.
I still think the best call sign is Bob. That's a brilliant call sign.
Do you know what Goose's son, you know what his call sign is?
Rooster.
Rooster.
Yeah, I know that's not very.
Come
Miles
on.
Teller, man, that's a good actor.
I do like him, yeah.
Mr. Tickle Trunk is in the house and says eggplant, egg. There's no eggplant like Super Sticker, so here you go.
Oh, and by the way, Mr. Tickle Trunk, I read what you said earlier. Fuck you. I love you, buddy.
Nikki D says, what do you think Hollywood's reaction after Ms. Turd's testimony? Think they believe her story? Will she still get work regardless of the ruling? That's a good question, guys. What do we think Hollywood is? They're like in the bubble, and we see from the media they're really trying to spin it for her.
There's a lot invested in Amber Heard, so they're
Exactly,
gonna have a
yeah.
tough
She'll
time.
still get work.
Yeah, it's not about whether or not it's true. It's about if they need it to be true. Like, you know what I mean? Like if it's true for them, then it's true, and if it's true for the opposite side, then it's not. It's whatever is convenient for them, whatever.
Like Juicy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Even now you have people saying like, no, he didn't do it. It's all set up.
He was set up. Yeah. People will believe what they want to believe, but I think she'll still get work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think she'll still get work.
I wouldn't use this
I was
in
asking
her.
that same question, Mr. Tickle Trunk.
Yeah, and Mr. Jiggletrunk Trunk says, great to see my favorite people here. Why is Gary here?
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. Fuck you.
Geary as he wrote it. Geary.
Most of them are going to get work as a result of this.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. Gary.
I mean, unless something...
It's not going to be the same level of caliber they had before, but they'll get there.
I mean, unless there's some like video or audio that we don't know about that really damns either one of them at this point, I don't think that it's going to really do much other than get Johnny some more roles, and she's going to be stuck in the B-movie category. She'll do a lot of straight to streaming type shit, maybe work on a TV show or something like that. If she loses this case, I bet you she'll take like a year or two off, and then she'll try to make like some kind of comeback.
Well, she just has a kid, so she's going to take some time to raise the child.
And
then 20 years from now, we'll watch a video that says, "Where are they now?"
Wait, she had a kid with who?
Oh, it was a surrogate, and it's questionable to be if it's actually like biologically hers too.
Oh, okay. I was like, ooh, man, you want to talk about like that's not the kind of anchor baby you want. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to be anchored to her. That's just she's crazy.
I feel more sorry for the kid.
I feel sorry for the kid.
Yeah, the kid too. Yeah,
that kid's gonna be fucked up.
Well,
you got a point. Sometimes people with the most fucked up parents turn out pretty good.
Sometimes, yeah.
Mr. Grant Gregory's in the house, and he's been a member for 5 months at the minimum effort puppy level. Thank you for that. And thank you for
trying very hard, is he?
For creating the member chats so we can bring them up on screen. And then Goddess Wim says, okay, I'm home. Let's do the Ezra story. All right, let's get into that in just a minute here. We got a couple more super chats, and we'll do that. Cardinal Sin's in the house and says, hail Midnight's Edge After Dark panel and chat. Well, hail to you, Cardinal Sin. Adam Wolford is here and says they measure in millimeters of built-in kilometers. Then it's more like 100. I think it means 100 trucks, and it'll take 6 weeks to build. Yeah. You wanted it this year? Well, the Rave Girl says, "Hey, check out the new Netflix culture memo, telling workers if they have problems with content, Netflix may not be the place for you. Love to see it." Oh, I did not see this. Somebody can send that to me. Or
that's pretty base, man.
Yeah,
but I'm sure like last time Netflix will come right back out. I'm like, well,
just remember they said the same thing about cuties too. So.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And then we had one from
I hope
Cardinal
they fire
Sin
that
here.
fucker.
We had another one from Cardinal Sin here. Where'd it go? There it is. Cardinal Sin says almost the entirety of the Spinal Tap movie was improv. Yes. It had a very loose structure. The main actors just riffed off of each other. This is true.
That actually makes me more interested in seeing the movie. I mean,
it's fucking brilliant, dude.
Yeah, that's why
because they did a movie previously. Do you guys remember the name of it? It was about the Ruddles.
Oh, there was the Ruddles, but that wasn't. Yeah, that wasn't related to this. Who did we lose? Where did?
70s.
Yeah, 70s dropped.
He said he has to leave. He has domestic.
Oh, I'm
duties.
sorry. I would have played him out. I didn't know.
I thought he fell asleep.
See you later,
well, check out that 70s Rock Fans channel. He does some good stuff over there. Thank you for hopping in here. We appreciate it.
Back to Spinal Tap. I was just going to say, like, with that that stable of actors, they went on to do several films together because their chemistry was just off the charts. And Christopher Guest,
they got like a whole series
directed
of
those films,
mockumentaries.
Have you ever seen Have you ever seen Best in Show?
Best in Show is
Best
great.
in Show.
Waiting for Guffman is
hysterical. Waiting for Guffman. There's For Your Consideration, and then there was
those movies are great.
Mighty Wind is great.
Mighty Wind.
Well, that was great because that's where the Folksmen come from. That were mentioned earlier. It's the same band. It's them.
It's the same three guys, and they open the Spinal Tap, and it's the craziest show apparently.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I mean, if it's improv,
have you ever seen the movie? You've been quiet. Did Six leave us?
No, I'm here. What did you say?
Have you ever seen Spinal Tap?
Nope, never seen it.
Wow, I think you should. It's a good movie.
It's in my Amazon cart.
There you go.
As I recall, Tom, though, what I was going to say is, it seems to me that the Ruddles was an inspiration for them to do Spinal
potentially. But like, Six. I mean, if you love '80s rock, you'll love
definitely.
this movie. Then you'll love this movie. You'll get a kick out of this fucking movie. Like this movie. Like I swear, like a lot of the hair bands stole the look from Spinal Tap.
What year did
I'm
it
not
come
kidding. 84.
84.
out? Well, there was
there was
like
some,
80s
but
hair
like
bands.
It was
yeah.
in line with hair metal's debut.
Yeah, it was right there at that time. So you know the period. Yeah.
La la. It's beautiful. What's it called? Lick my love pump.
It's in D minor, which is the saddest key of all.
I mean, sick. Yeah, you guys really run and go see that film.
We told her most of the best bits, but this one just has a 2-word review. It calls shark sandwich shit sandwich.
Shit sandwich.
You can't print that.
Where you compare that?
That's
not
Fran Drescher
real.
in it too.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone's in it.
Oh God, yeah. Even fucking what's his face from David Letterman and Saturday Night Live. Yeah.
Or Paul
Schaefer.
Yeah.
Kick this ass.
Kick
Will you
my
kick
ass
this
for me. Do me a favor. Just kick this ass for me.
Hey, did you already talk about the Norm Macdonald thing?
We did talk a little bit about the Orville. Why?
did we?
Oh no, not
No,
that
Norm
part. No,
Macdonald's got a special
No, that is
coming out.
his
Yeah, the
his
special,
Netflix
yeah.
special.
yeah. I just
Yeah,
heard
I'm
about
sorry.
that. No. I guess Norm Macdonald secretly filmed a Netflix special. I don't know when it comes out. When's it supposed to be out?
He
He recorded
secretly
his
hid
act.
having cancers and then also secretly made a last.
Wow.
Yeah.
What
Well,
way
it's
to go
not. It's
out.
not the normal Netflix special you think of. It's his material, his act that he does in his living room because it wasn't performed before a live audience. He did it before going into a surgery that was iffy, but he was succeeded. It was ended up being successful, and then unfortunately he got his condition got a little bit worse, and he was never able to debut it for a proper recording in front of an audience. So this special is his bit, which he does in one take. And I think it's buffeted by people like other comedians that he's worked with, just remembering Norm. And it's called Nothing Special, which is quite hysterical for his Netflix.
All right.
And it was so that saying that also Nothing Special is so Norm Macdonald, because the guy would just knew he was like sick. I mean, he'd been sick since 2012.
Yep.
And he would talk about people dying of cancer. It's no big deal, you know. He says, in the end, you know, if you die with the cancer, you kind of tie. You kill the cancer with you.
The description you just gave there, Script, actually makes it sound a lot more sad than I was hoping for.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it's gonna be one of those. There's no laughter. Are they gonna add a laugh track to like?
I hope they don't.
I
that would be
hope
very
they have a live
anti-Norm
audience
Macdonald.
watching it, like his fellow comedians watching him as an audience.
I don't know what I don't know what would be better.
Spinal Tap?
No, what?
What are you talking about?
Wait, which one are we talking about?
Norm Macdonald.
Oh, Norm.
Yeah,
Mad changed the subject.
Sounds
on
like
it.
you need to
Okay.
bump up again.
Tupac Donald.
Need
Gotcha.
some cocaine. Get caught up.
I need another. I'm gonna go do another line with 6. Here, back.
Wait,
See if you had a cocaine bullet, it wouldn't be this one.
Get back
What's that?
here. Aren't you recovering? Get back here.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow 7 years of recovery just for a line.
Just for a single line.
Well, here's something that may change your mind. Let's get into this, kids. This is the
Yeah.
big news. Now we have footage of Ezra Miller getting arrested. This comes to us via TMZ here, it looks like. So let's check this out, kids. What do you say?
Sure.
I can't hear anything.
Audio?
Focus.
Oh, there's the audio.
And he come right up
Back it up here.
to me and just like, no, this brother, I was playing darts.
Okay. And then what?
With my good girl.
Okay.
And he come right up to me and just like,
He started shouting.
no,
at
no.
that. No.
I not gonna spit on him.
Okay, so he spit in your face.
Two. And I was
Okay.
like, what's up, cuz?
Yeah.
Like, what's up?
Yeah.
And then I
Example.
jumped in and held it back.
Yeah.
You
So
know
he
what?
spit in your face for no reason.
Can you pause it?
I was like way across the room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't. Is that Ezra? I mean, I don't know.
No, that's the
No, I think that's a complaint.
Oh, okay.
assaulted by him.
Because I'm like, he actually sounds kind of manly, not manly there, but like more masculine than what
He
I.
also sounds Hawaiian.
He also sounds like
no. This is the individual who would have been insulted. It sounds like the male.
This is the individual who is the victim.
Oh, okay.
Of this.
And
All right.
listen to some of his colloquial verbal use.
Yeah, he was like,
sounds like he's Polynesian, and a Hawaiian.
Did he say like this howley come up?
He didn't say that. He just said
raise the sun, everybody.
He said cuz.
I feel like he thought he was somebody else.
No. I got assaulted and I started filming. Okay. Let me show you the video.
Let's talk stories outside.
Let's talk stories outside.
And Ezra Miller in the system, no warrants, but he's caution code unstable.
How the fuck is he dressed like?
Oh,
Did you hear that shit?
They got a caution
Ezra
on him.
Miller? Yeah.
Jesus
Did
Christ.
you hear that? Man, did you caught that?
Yeah, I caught it. That's
What'd he say?
awesome.
You know what that is. Explain it,
Yeah.
man, please.
So basically, yeah, he has like a warning whenever you run him in the system. It'll be like, hey, this guy has a history of being like uncooperative or resisting, especially if it's anything violent related. There's going to be a note in the system. So when you run his 27, his ID, right, and you get you'll get the history and everything. It'll show you all the charges, blah blah blah, warrants, whatever. But it'll also have like a note there if he has a tendency to violence or a tendency to resist arrest, so you know what you're getting into with him.
Didn't
And
say
that is
something about
awesome.
Warrant out too. I think it's
No, it said no warrants.
Oh, no warrants. Okay, that's what it said. All right. The goddess of whim says, "Hey Ezra, the Joker called and wants his pants back. Poor guy needs help." Yeah. So we'll see how he's dressed here. He looks pretty good.
And this was in a convenience store? Because if
This-
that's a bar, that's a danky bar.
No, I think this is the karaoke bar. This is where he got arrested, if I remember right. So I think the guy who was talking about getting spit on was probably the guy who was singing karaoke or whatever, wasn't
Oh
it?
man, that's a danky karaoke bar. Who just has cases of empty beer just stacked by the door in a karaoke bar?
I've seen shit like that. I'm from Wisconsin.
Hey, if you want to rewind it, man, get a second listen to that.
Please.
To the dispatcher on there.
Get assaulted
Sure.
for NFT crypto art. What's your name? What's your badge number?
You get assaulted for NFT crypto. Yeah, that's the other thing he brought up here.
No, this brother, I was playing darts.
Okay. And then what?
With my good girl.
Okay.
And he come.
Oh, he was
up to
playing
me and just
darts.
he started shouting. No. I not gonna spit on him.
Okay, so he spit in your face.
Two. And I was
Okay.
like, what's up, cuz?
Yeah.
Like, what's up?
Yeah.
And then I example.
Jumped in and held it back.
Yeah.
You
So
know
he
what?
spit in your face for no reason.
Yeah. I was like way across the room.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like he thought he was somebody else.
No. I got assaulted and I started filming. Okay. Let me show you the video.
Let's talk stories outside.
Let's talk stories outside.
And Ezra Miller in the system, no warrants, but he's caution code unstable, 29 Caucasian male.
Caution codes
Unstable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at
Nice.
caution.
Squad twice in a row. I filmed myself when I get assaulted for NFT crypto art. What's your name? What's your badge number? Tell me your name.
Oh, did he start?
We're gonna
Did
get
he
to
raise
that.
his voice
Yes,
immediately?
he does. Yes. Okay. The first thing he said though is he films himself
Getting
assaulted for NFT crypto art.
That is just. What does that have to do with anything, bro? Like.
And then on the Joker note again, Ed Mecca J says Ezra Miller should have been cast as the Joker with that outfit, not the
Right?
black. Yeah, no kidding. I think we've said that before. He would have made a better Joker, but
Yeah, I earlier I posted the article for this on Midnight's Edge, and I
Now
wrote
who'd we lose?
I looked up in Webster's dictionary the definition of crazy as fuck, and someone had scratched in "see Ezra Miller."
That was a long walk.
Yeah. All right, let's back this up just a few seconds here.
Fuck you.
At least I said something. Nobody was gonna say anything. You're just gonna be there in silence. I helped you out.
I get assaulted for NFT crypto art. What's your name? What's your badge number? Tell me your name and your badge number. What key?
Ooh,
Ezra.
he's
Full name,
angry.
full badge number. Tell me your name and your badge number. Tell me your name and your badge number.
Somebody needs to grab a hold of this boy.
Tell me your name and your badge number. Now.
Jesus Christ, this
Tell me your
guy
name
is
and your badge number now.
fucking out of his mind.
You.
Get off the road.
Central.
He's running around on the
I
road.
mean, there's.
Well, what'd they cut out?
Disorderly conduct.
Yeah.
I was assaulted.
They cut that all out.
Okay.
Hold on, pause it. Dude, I have a real big problem with the way they reacted. One, you're not gonna demand shit out of me. Yelling at me. Well, I come from a different time though. Like yelling at me bads and naming bads number. Get the fuck. It'll be in the report. Like, what are you doing? Oh, that bothered me.
Yeah, I don't like that they cut out there. I don't know what we missed. But,
Yeah, I don't like that they were having that. They were just like walking. Like, dude, no, somebody needs to put hands on him. I don't have time for this. What are you wearing?
I'm sorry.
Back
I'm
up
sorry.
over here.
Tell me your name and your badge number now.
136. Sir,
You.
get off the road.
Central 131.
I mean arrested for disorderly conduct.
Yeah.
I was assaulted. You understand that, right?
Okay.
Well, you know, you could have told us that instead of running away and playing all of this theatrics. You could have
You're
just told us
I'm sorry.
No, you're not
officer.
sorry. You could have took
I am
this
sorry.
thing real quick. But
I am
no,
sorry.
you wanted to play the game.
I was
and now-
complying.
Well, you wasn't complying.
I was. You said get off the road. I got off the road.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No, you
I
didn't.
walked over the road.
Central 131
So what did I do wrong?
Getting arrested for
You
disorderly somebody's
Okay, a
face.
guy in that bar declared himself as a Nazi. I have it on film, and he attacked me.
Okay, so?
So?
He's a Nazi.
Dude, oh shit! I didn't.
Unlawfully persecuted.
We said so at the same time. Me and that officer.
He called him a Nazi.
Oh, yo, like, I guess disorderly. I mean, public intox for sure. Because like again, I'm Texas, so I know Texas law. But like, what I know from Texas law, I like public intox. You know, you have to be like, you have to present yourself like a danger to yourself and or others by him walking out into the road. That is a danger to himself, right?
Yep.
So that's public intox. You're going to want to stack that on top of the disorderly conduct. And then you have the assault for the spit. Like there's several charges that he could possibly get stacked with.
There is a caveat. I may be different in Texas, but I know in other states, if you walk onto an empty road, that's not public endangerment. It's because it's empty. You still have the right of way.
But see, what public intox is a danger to yourself and or others.
And or
By him,
yeah, absolutely.
right.
Yeah.
So by him walking out into the road, even if it is empty, you're still you're still presenting like, okay, if there was vehicles, you know what I mean? He still would be a danger. There's the potential of him being a danger to himself and to others by his actions outside of the spitting and all the other stuff. But there's a few things that just throw it in there if they don't want to charge them, they don't have to charge them. But like, you know what I mean? Like put it on paper. I would.
You can put on record on paper that he strayed out into a road during this, like as either an attempt to escape
no
or any of that
intoxication
nature
charge?
stuff. Because well, one thing that kind of shocked me is you think for an actor he'd know how to project, and he doesn't. He was screaming from his throat and whining. I'm like, yeah, that's not intimidating, buddy. That's a childish thing.
Well, I mean, he looks like the little doll from the Saw series. I mean, that's how he's dressed.
Yeah, you just need to have.
It does look like
spirals on his
Jigsaw
cheeks.
or whatever. Yeah,
Jigsaw doll. Yeah.
kind of does. Yeah. Okay, let's finish watching this. Let's back it up a little bit here. Oh Lord.
So what did I do wrong?
Getting arrested for disorderly somebody's
Okay, a
face.
guy in that bar declared himself as a Nazi. I have it on film, and he attacked me.
Okay, so?
My Ninth Amendment rights to not be unlawfully persecuted for a crime of no designation, disorderly conduct being something I am unguilty of. I claim my Fourth Amendment rights to not be searched and seized on no probable cause that you will not be able to offer in a court of law.
Tell he's been to court.
Love it.
Amendment
I love
rights
it.
to not be searched and seized. Please do not touch my ring.
God, he sounds like my sister, who's
My
also
Fourth
crazy.
Amendment rights
Sir,
to
it's
not
gonna be
have
right
search
here,
and
okay?
seizure.
What the fuck?
Unlawful
Has he got purple gloves?
cause.
Yeah.
I claim
Yes.
my Fourth Amendment rights to not be unlawful. Hey,
I
you just
love
touched my penis. Please
everyone
don't do
is
that.
ignoring him.
That's my
I'm not
penis.
transgender,
Oh my
non-binary. I
God.
don't want to be searched by a man.
Oh, for
I'm
fuck's
transgender,
sake.
non-binary, and I don't want to be searched by a man. I claim my Fourth Amendment rights.
Wait,
These are
hold
Nerf
on.
Guns, just in case you worry that they're bullets. Those are Nerf bullets.
Thank you.
What
They're
the
fake
fuck
and they're a
is he
toy.
doing? Hold on. I got so many. One, if you're non-binary, and who do you want to be searched by? You have two options. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I want a
there's not a
non-binary
third.
officer to search me.
What a non-binary officer.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
was going to say a
Like-
non-binary officer is going to get more of a rocks off that than a straight officer. I mean, just
I mean, how big are his pockets? What all does he have on him? Nerf guns.
Yeah, this
purple-
looks like something
this
from
is like a comedy act.
Yeah, it's like
He's the
something
Joker,
from the
dude.
Police Squad or
This
or
is like
from
some
the,
Reno 911 shit.
Was this? This
Yeah.
wasn't Halloween. What is he? What? This is
He's got
insane.
rubber. He's got toy rubber foam bullets. Like yeah, he's basically it's basically a clown show.
Wow.
Well, one of the people just said they're schizophrenic. He really does. My sister is one of the worst with schizophrenia. She's caused so many problems in our family, and this is what she's like. This is exactly what she's like.
I don't, man. That's crazy, dude.
They're getting another bag.
I do love how everyone's just ignoring him and like not responding to everything.
Exactly.
He says. I do appreciate that.
They're just like going on.
They're just there to record.
Yeah, no.
I claim my Fourth Amendment rights to not be searched and seized. Please do not touch my ring.
Definitely come on.
Okay.
You'll get it
I
right
claim my
after.
Fourth Amendment
Sir,
rights
sir,
to
it's
not
gonna be
have
right
search
here,
and
okay?
seizure
We're just letting you know it's gonna be right here.
unlawfully without probable cause. I claim my Fourth Amendment rights to not be unlawful. Hey, you just touched my penis. Please don't do that. I'm not transgender, non-binary. I don't want to be searched by a man. I'm transgender, non-binary, and I don't want to be searched by a man. I claim my Fourth Amendment rights.
He's transgender?
Just in case you were
Yeah,
Nerf
non-binary.
Nerf bullets.
Thank you for letting
They're
me-
fake and they are a toy.
Thank you for
This
letting
is my belt buckle and my Nerf bullets.
I appreciate that.
Please don't take them from me.
I love the dude
Flashing
laughing
means
at
a
him.
lot to me.
He's kind of laughing too.
Yeah, he's laughing when he said, those are my
It
Nerf
almost seems
bullets.
like he did this on purpose to a point. Like he's trying to be the Joker or some shit.
I love the idea of I'm transgender and non-binary. Like, what are you transgendering into? Non-binariness?
Yeah.
Do you mean that your genitals have evaporated?
No, actually,
Don't
Zilla,
exist anymore?
I think they're glad that it's out now and not later.
Yeah, because if he gets arrested again, it's gonna be very bad.
Well, not just that. I mean, honestly, this was probably the least of it. Like, if there's video of him throwing that chair and shit, that's worse.
Yeah.
Right. Like, this is kind of laughable here. Like I wasn't kidding when I said this feels like an Reno 911 fucking skit.
It really does. Like the dude that was on the roller skates all the time.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's Swanson.
Yeah.
Nick Swarson, who looks like Amy Schumer. And they might actually be the same person, just messing with
You know what would be funny is if someone edited this video with the video from earlier, like the PSA.
He's like, I'm gonna run and get help.
Oh, dude, that thing made me so uncomfortable. Y'all watched it on here?
Yep.
Oh man,
Not
Tom
the whole
sent-
thing, so
Oh, okay.
come on.
No,
I
that thing was,
did
that thing was
plug
pretty
it, but I
uncomfortable.
sent it
But
to you, so
Yeah, no, Tom sent it to me, and I just I'm like, oh, I don't like this.
This is street smart.
no, I didn't like it at all. But
It made me uncomfortable.
Though, but there's a
But
lot
man,
to
Ezra, dude. What with Ezra?
Someone do that super deep cut.
So yeah, let's get everybody's reaction to this. I mean, I
would actually love to see this get redone with the Reno 909 crew, because those guys would actually listen to what he says and react accordingly, and not accordingly, but just panic. It's like, oh crap, can we get a trans non-binary officer to come search them, please? And then they all look at Dingle. He's like, whoa, I'm not that.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. I
did notice how incredibly clear he got when he was proclaiming his rights, and then he didn't want to be searched by man. He sounded very sober, like he snapped out of it.
That must be why he didn't get the public intoxication, like somebody said in the chat. Maybe he wasn't really drunk.
Well, or he's just a little off.
Well, that's what look.
And people who are off like that, they have those moments of clarity when they're talking to authority figures or whatever on the streets. It makes sense.
I've done as a paramedic
rehearsed speech. Yeah.
I've done tons of involuntary commits up in Seattle when I was a paramedic, and yeah, I've seen that kind of behavior all over the place, and it can go from funny to scary in seconds.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
in an instant. I remember one lady, an Inuit mother who wasn't allowed to have her child. Her sister took over raising the child. She broke into her house, grabbed her child, and tried to smash her head into a wall. She's a toddler, and was doing this as the cops were coming in, and it was a crazy call.
Yeah.
Well, that got dark.
That yeah, I'm gonna try to lift
Well,
back up.
that's the thing about these guys. Yeah, cheer it up, bring it up.
But no, there was like a shit ton of cops that responded to this little incident. You
Yeah,
know what
I
I mean?
noticed that. Like, okay, so Matt, from your point of view, from this
Right.
world, like, give us your like, what's going on in your head if you're dealing with this?
Well, so my first thought, one, you want to isolate him and don't give him so much room to maneuver in. Because like especially like, I mean, when he took off to the road, you're like, oh wow, okay, this is getting dumb. Because a lot of this you could do down at the station. You don't have to do it on scene. You know what I mean? Like, and the first thing that they should have done is done a Terry frisk on him, right? Like a pat down, which is legal. Like Terry versus Ohio, 1954, I want to say, whatever. Like whenever an officer is interacting with the individual, they like for officer safety, they can pat them down. You can't search them, you can't go into their pockets or anything, but you can do a pat down, right? Should have started with that because they would have that Nerf gun thing would have came up and all that, and so you're already ahead of the game on that. Because man, he had so much shit in his pockets, but I don't know why it took that many officers. 2, depending on how many people were at the bar. You know what I mean? 2, 3, maybe.
It didn't look like a very big place according to the script.
It didn't.
Either.
No.
It looked tiny.
If it was like a Tuesday, I don't know what night of the week this was, Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah, everyone's you're gonna have more officers there because everybody's bored, don't have anything else to do. So you're just gonna go out there.
If there was that March 28th on the body cam, because if that is, that's a Monday night.
Let's see here. I think this was the Monday after the Oscars. Remember, guys?
Okay.
So that would have been the 28th, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, Monday night.
That could explain why there was a few extra because, like, I don't know how big this city that they're in or this town or whatever. It looked like a more not rural area of the city, but it looks more like the
Do you
outskirts
think it could have
of the
been a
city.
concern over him trying to flee and enough
No.
officers to catch him?
No. Well,
Here's
because
some more
one,
footage
I don't
from
think
the
they
earlier
knew
one, but I
who
don't
he
think there's
was.
audio on this one, so I think this is from a previous incident. It said I don't know which one this would be, but he had the cops called on him like 10 times. They said so. Unless this is the karaoke bar one. Looks like a bouncer just kicked him out.
Yeah, a guy with a stick there, ready to use it.
Yeah, and she's telling him go away. Yep.
Who's this?
Union Bar, huh?
That's Ezra right there in the sweatpants.
When?
This was let's see here. It says as reported, Ezra had other police got denied entry into a bar. So this is a place he must have already because he tried
how many
getting
cops
in.
are there now?
Yeah, see, this is the thing. It sounds like he's been. Well, we heard that he had 10 other incidences prior to this.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean he got arrested all those times or anything like that. It just means that the cops were called in or whatever. So, or there was a complaint filed or something like that. So yeah, this is clearly getting out of hand. So yeah.
Wait a minute, what happened to 6?
She did out. I don't know what happened, if she had a computer issue or what.
Oh, okay.
She was having an issue earlier, so I don't know.
You doing all right, Valiant?
I'm back. Yeah.
Valiant's back.
Yeah, it's a bit of a story. I didn't want to interrupt, but
I thought there was a chicken behind you.
Dealing with a bit of a thing. The short version is that Mrs. Renegade called me frantically. She has, like I said, I've been gone for 2 months basically because of all the springtime stuff she does with her music school. The venue that we booked 2 months ago for her end of the year choir recital, we have over 200 guests coming, just called to say they screwed up and double booked the room.
Sucks for the other people.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. It's just sent emails and
I'd be like, okay, so
messages.
who got it first?
Yeah,
And then
that's
from
what I
there-
said. It's like you cashed a check with our deposit for this. We have a date on it. We have a contract. So I basically emailed saying I'm just confirming that, and I didn't say this part out loud. I don't give a shit who you have in that room. We're showing up with 250 people Tuesday. So fix your shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you're notifying me because I'm booked there. You should be
Right.
telling this to the other person.
Exactly. Well, the problem is it's like their own it's a venue that has like their own members and stuff like that. And they book some wine tasting event or something on the same. It's stupid. So it's basically like, you can fix this, or I can call the lawyers. I got some bulldog lawyers that are good friends. They ain't gonna cost me much of anything to do this, so we can have some fun. All right. So anyway, yeah, been dealing with that. Yeah. My wife is like losing her mind, so had to go deal with that. Apologize. So
welcome back anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were watching
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller footage. Did you get a chance to see that at all?
I was watching it while you were playing it. Yeah, I kind of came back in right when you started it, and just, dude, that dude has issues. A lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot.
So anybody else got any compliments on the Ezra Miller situation?
Compliments? I compliment the the one officer that was like, yeah,
Compliments, I meant yes, but yes, sorry.
Yeah, I compliment her because like
Does anybody have some condiments?
We both said so at the same time. Like I love that response.
Wilshire, how do you get back to Wilshire?
Shut up.
Yeah. The most fun cops to watch are the ones that work night because like yeah, dude. Oh man.
Megan J wants to know, with the video of Ezra released, how far back do you think WB would push the Flash movie? They already did, and they're hedging their bets that he'll be good between now and then, and hope people forget about all this shit.
Not if he keeps.
That's
just the problem, right? They've essentially given him more time to screw up as opposed to less time.
You're right, script, but I see where they're coming from. They're trying to space this out to where they hope people forget. But like you just said, script, that you have this problem now is you have a half a year where this kid can be, or like a year, isn't it?
You've got a year and a bit, actually.
Yeah, like before, where this kid can fuck up some more. So.
They have like a 2-week window between incidences that they can release this movie. Like they need the, you know what I mean? Because like,
the thing, right?
Will he be good? It's will he be good in the movie?
No, regardless of that, think of it this way. Let's say there's a 3-month stretch leading up to the film where he's good and nothing happens. Then the weekend after the premiere, he does something.
Yeah. By the way, 3 months is very generous for him.
That's what's funny is script is that's kind of been his MO, right? Like, because that one time he got trouble was after the premiere. Of
Ezra.
The last time here was after the premiere in the weekend. He was at the Oscars, so he was at the premiere of the Fantastic Beasts. I couldn't think of the fucking name. Because that opened up that weekend before, so yeah.
I know Warner Brothers is in a very tight bind on this. There's, again, it's basically wherever they drop it, they have to figure out what's the sweet spot that we can drop this where we can lose the least amount of money, because that's basically what they're trying to do here. They're trying to lose the least amount of money, because anything else that they do, any more delays, is more money out of their pockets.
Yeah, especially after the bad luck they've had with the Harry Potter film.
Well, and that's just, and the other thing is like, you know,
nothing.
I checked in with my people, and that's basically what they were telling me is like, there's no way they can take Ezra out of this movie.
Yeah.
Right. Like
he plays multiple roles.
Yeah. Well, not just that. I mean, yeah, it's just, he's the star. You can't just Back to the Future this. There's way too much to do. You'd have to essentially reshoot the entire fucking movie.
I heard the same thing from my people. Cause like what I brought up was I got people, you can tell us. So what I heard was, no, like remember what they did with Zack Snyder's zombie movie that
with Tig Notaro?
Yeah, exactly, right? Like people have been seeing like, well, what if they did like that would be way too expensive to try to, you know, reface
it's possible, but
Ezra for the whole thing.
Here's the thing is Ezra would have to, for them to be able to do it economically, Ezra would actually have to literally sign off on them using his body and allowing them to deep fake somebody else's face on, and or basically reshoot everything. And even if you do it with just the person in front of a green screen, that's still a lot of, you know, special
effects. That's a lot of extra post-production time. Exactly, the other part too is technically Ezra wouldn't be signing that if he's deemed mentally incapable of controlling his own faculties. His the next in line,
power of attorney,
power attorney, agent, whatever, would do the sign off on their best behalf. But
and you can't guarantee that's going to happen. Yeah.
Well, here's the other part. They're not going to do it unless there's a payout in order to compensate for the loss of potential income or points or whatever investment they have on the film. It's not going to happen. Like it's really not.
So they can't scratch it though. They can't scratch the movie altogether. Like there's no way they've invested too much money.
They could, but they're not going to. I think
if they were Kathleen Kennedy, they would do it.
Well, they ain't
I
Disney,
don't
and they
know.
didn't have the money and the. That's the thing. They knew The Rise of Skywalker was probably going to make $1 billion, so them reshooting it that many times was just whatever.
Yeah.
This is a situation where they've already dealt with this with Justice League. They cannot do that again. The Justice League was one of the biggest flops in history because it cost so goddamn much. Like,
I mean, it's still costing more. Snyder's trying to do a theatrical release of it. He's still taking as much money from Warner Brothers as he possibly can.
So, and I'm not talking about like the change from, just whatever. I'm talking about like how they came back and had Joss Whedon reshoot most of the movie. Yeah. So they're not going to do that again, because we heard that cost them anywhere between $400 and $500 million altogether. And the movie only
that's
made
just
like
before the Snyder cut too.
Yeah, and that's before the Snyder cut, and that version that they released, the Justice League, didn't it only make like $400-some million in the box office? So like,
remember.
It lost a shit ton of movie.
Shocking is it was better than the Snyder cut.
Well, and with Lucasfilm, to go back, Solo movie is the one where they really lost a lot of money.
Well, that was Disney though.
That was Disney.
That's what I'm
The other
talking
part
about.
too is they
Lucasfilm
hadn't
Disney.
gotten- they also hadn't gotten to post-production special effects yet at that point.
Right,
So,
before when they brought in Ron Howard, which
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of. Not a fan of what he did with Solo. It was so bland.
Disney.
We heard some shit later on after the fact of why he did that anyway. So
Yeah.
it was just kind of a trade-off.
What did you? I forgot. What did you hear?
There was some deal he had.
For something else. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
You were the one that told me about that before.
Yeah, it was something for some Imagine project. Yeah, because he was making 2 more movies under his production company, and then he was going to sell his company. And I don't even think he ended up making them, or maybe it was a documentary or something like that. But I think he did that, and now Imagine Entertainment's up for sale, as we were told it was going to be. So, yeah. Magician Sapphire says, "I said before, and I'll say again, Ezra Miller is a FV." C1NG.
think Greek alphabet there.
Yeah, lunatic. A fucking lunatic. Gotcha.
There we go.
He's making Freakazoid seem rational. Yeah. I mean,
I like this new character arc he's on, though. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Well,
There'll be a
sometimes
couple of lifetime
Tickle
unauthorized
Trunk
take movies on the Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
Mr. Chickletrunk is curious if it runs in the family. Well, he doesn't have any kids yet, but I mean,
What
that's a
guys,
good
folks?
question.
Well, he's wondering if the apple fell far.
Yeah, I
from
know
the
what he's
tree.
saying. So, like, I
Wait,
mean,
does he have famous people? Does he have famous
don't
parents?
know if he does or not.
I think
that
his
know.
mom's an agent, but I'm not 100% sure.
They have to be in the business, like, 9 out of 10. But a lot of times, yeah, they're going to have some connection to the business for them to be in the business.
Douglas
I remember
Nelson
something about his
says
dad.
Warner Brothers can't do a Henry Cavill Superman movie, but they can keep Ezra Miller. Hollywood logic strikes again. Yes.
Yes, I just double checked on this. Robert S. Miller is Ezra's dad, and he is the senior vice president and managing director of Hyperion Books.
Okay.
Dan Blackroyd? No. Willow was already a done deal before Solo.
I'm already pissed about that.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Bryce was part of that deal, because she's been
It was
treated pretty
something
well.
else. I can't remember what it was. We talked about it once before. But like, because when we talked to Clint, he had talked about it, and he was already talking about the Willow series then. So we already knew more about it than most people did at that point. So
I guess that happened before Solo was released, right?
yeah, that was a done deal way back when. That was one of the original initial deals made at Disney. It just took forever to get rolling, basically. And then I think Solo also helped push it off a little bit, because then that way he could shoot Solo quick for him. And then COVID got in the way. So yeah. Otherwise, I think it was supposed to be out like last year or whatever, or even maybe 2020, because it was 2019 when we talked to Clint. So
I haven't really seen much from it lately, or
nothing.
well, they did that one teaser thing, and that was it. So, and then our buddy Douglas Nelson sent us some lovely art here. I don't know if Ezra can phase through those bars or not, like the Flash can. So. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna have much luck there.
why does that looks more like it makes him look more masculine than he really is.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. No, I'm sure they're going to recast him, and that's where we're hearing all these rumors from. Because in another movie down the road, they will have a new Flash, but it's not going to happen during this movie, and that's why Warner Brothers is trying to keep that kind of shit out of the press. I bet.
You gotta feel bad for him.
Right now, they're looking at a 50% success rate on the 4 movies they're going to drop. That's a potential.
Pretty much.
The Flash and Aquaman are the ones that are probably going to be doing the worst, and I think Shazam and Black Adam will be better by comparison. And I don't even know what's going on with Batgirl right now.
To a point. Well, I think Batgirl's finishing up post-production, but I think they have to save that for after the Flash because Batman's in that too.
Yeah,
and that's the thing is I think they're banking on script is that this movie will do well because of Michael Keaton, and people will just ignore the fact that Ezra Miller's in it.
Which is a really terrible thing to do for your brand.
It
is.
Your
title character cannot draw in the crowd. You need to bring in Batman.
But I mean, well, that's their
Which
MO,
is the same
right?
tactic that they did for Batman v Superman, man. Like,
that's what I mean.
Superman's Man of Steel did not do what Warner Brothers wanted. It's like, okay, let's bring in Batman. And they still didn't do well for that.
I mean, yeah, but a lot of that has to do with Zack Snyder. Like, let's be honest. Like, his movies aren't exactly the biggest draw in as far as like a wider audience. You know what I mean?
It's crazy. He had 3 golden gooses in Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, and it couldn't break $1 billion. That's really
once
bad.
again,
That's
those
also
were
Chris
the
Terrio,
tinkered
too.
versions. Those were the tinkered with versions.
And
Not
we
yet.
wonder.
No.
I've seen his cut.
A lot of it didn't
It
come in
wasn't
until after
better.
that. And Jeff Johns just wanted something to fit in style because Jeff Johns' mandate really only applied to Aquaman, and that's the first movie that in that lineup that crossed the $1 billion mark.
And we wonder why the Disney Marvel MCU looks like a fucking golden turd right now, right? Because that's how bad Warner Brothers is. It makes Phase 4 of the MCU look good.
Which is
You're
insane.
not totally wrong.
I mean, think of it from a normie perspective. Look at the box office, look at the financial performance, look at the business performance of all of this.
I mean, Shazam is the only thing really coming from them that I'm looking forward to be honest.
Amen.
Yeah.
I mean, the DCEU has been a business debacle for Warner Brothers. That's part of the reason why.
Well, and that's what Zaslav's had enough of, right? Because this is
that's my
something I've
point.
heard from multiple places, is that he believes that the DC universe should be the thing that is basically supporting all the other crap.
Yeah.
Right?
He's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong. He's absolutely right. Figuring out how to find that sweet spot is going to be some trial and error. And I think part of it has to go back with the fan titling of the DCEU, because that is not a thing. It is not registered. It's not part of anything. Nobody can tell you what the E stands for.
Extended?
From what?
I know, right? That's what I said to Mike.
It's extended from the other DC.
There is no other.
Is it extended?
I thought maybe expanded, but expanded
from what?
from what?
DCEU.
You know, it's like
there's nothing there. It was made by a journalist.
it should have been DCCU.
It should have been just the detective. Warner Brothers just call them.
Well,
like
you could
DC
say it's
films.
the DC Entertainment Universe, but that
Yeah,
still sounds stupid as fuck.
No, that's not it.
That is also really.
It should
that's
just be
also
the
counter-
DCU. You're right.
It's supposed to be the Detective Comics universe. Like they just call them DC Films at Warner Brothers. I know this. I was there. Like I was around at that time. I was talking to those people. When they saw whatever they see it in like fan stuff or trades, like what the hell is a DCEU? Like it's not a thing. And this was at the point when Warner Brothers at the time was very much against of trying to actually create a separate studio entity for their characters. And
I
the
can't
reason
believe
being
it.
at the time was they didn't want to have to negotiate with a bunch of other producers that had various television and film rights under the Warner Brothers brand. They just didn't want to deal with them. And I think now Zaslav is like, to hell with it. I'll bring them all in. I don't care. I just want to make a coherent brand.
I just thought it's like the DCEU is the don't say gay of Hollywood. Like we were all tricked into thinking that it was these, but it was never called DCEU. Extended's nowhere in it.
Extended, expanded, nothing. It's not there. It
No.
doesn't exist.
Oh man, they got us again, guys.
Well, thank God it didn't stand for erection.
It's only that to some very insecure people, man.
And I missed this earlier. Mr. Trunk says maybe Ezra's mental illness is just coming up during the last year. Some drugs can fast track its appearance with people who have it
Would have it
later
later
on.
on.
Yeah, there is that aspect that could be too, but he's always been a little weird, and it sounds like if he's kind of been protected a little bit, because like I said, I went back when we did a video recently to reference one of the earlier where he choked the girl, where I have the video from. That one's hard to find now. It's like it's almost been scrubbed from the internet. Like there's very few remnants of it. So I do feel like he's been protected for some time, and now they're just
Back
kind
up
of
that video.
yeah, I got it right here. It's right here. So I mean, now I don't think it matters.
Learn it? Did you want to fight? Is that the deal?
So I mean, at this point, like, I mean, and that was what, almost 2 years ago now.
Yep.
I can't, I said it back then. I'll say it now. I can't believe like how bad he was in the movies, that he looks like a bigger badass in real life than he did in the. You know what I mean? Because like all he did in the movie was push people, and at least this he's slamming. Whatever. Screw you.
Yeah,
man.
this is my point here.
Yeah,
I think
I
they've
know.
enabled it for too long. So even if it's something that is getting drastically worse, I mean, it needs to be dealt with. Olslek says, "Are we sure this body cam video isn't just leaked footage from the Flash?" That would be something.
In
He said he
another-
was going to run, but he didn't run very fast.
In another universe, he's like the pre-Joker Flash.
Then Night of Snoke has another question for us and asks, if Warner Brothers loves Ezra so much, why are they constantly delaying The Flash? That movie has been in development since early days of the channel. What are they hiding they are so shameful of? Oh, well, we've gotten into this in several different instances. The shortest version is the DC universe was falling apart. Like they had gone through... Shut up. They had they had gone through a shit ton of problems, as we were just pointing out. And this was announced way early on. This is one of the earliest films announced, and it kept changing what it was going to be. It went through how many directors' script? Like 3 or 4?
3 or 4. It's been
Before it got to
almost 7
Muschietti?
years of development.
Yeah. And at that time, I think even the ideas have changed to the point where as soon as they announced that Michael Keaton was coming back, that was like 2.5+ years ago now already.
Here's the funny part. So the original director left for 2 reasons. One of which is they didn't like the suggestions from the studio. The other was the director was ticked off that they couldn't cast the Flash because Snyder had already done it. He was really pissed off at that, and he just walked away. I think even the rumor said that he was close. Like, if you won't let me cast him, just let Snyder direct.
That was one of the
goddamn
biggest
thing.
mistakes, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, Script, but like up front, knowing that they were going to do this as a universe and they were going to have all these other spin-off movies, or however you want to put it, they should have allowed those directors to pick the actors, and
Yep.
Snyder should have been stuck with whoever they picked.
Exactly. Like, even the director before Patty Jenkins did Wonder Woman, the director walked with that as being one of the reasons. She didn't want Gal Gadot. Patty Jenkins didn't want Gal Gadot, but warmed up to her because she wanted the job. And yeah, that's the other part too. You really don't want to have one director of one film influencing the potential film debuts of other characters. And that's one of the smarter things that Marvel did, is when they were working out, what directors are we going to what characters are we going to introduce, and who do we have in mind to direct their debut film? Let's get their input. And that's how we got Brian Coogler, who then picked Chadwick Boseman, and John Watts picked with Kevin Feige was supervising all this, obviously, but John Watts picked Tom Holland. And it's so like it was way more symbiotic as opposed to.
And I think it was
Warner
the same
Brothers.
way with Marvel. Like, obviously, it was Favreau and Feige who picked RDJ, and then so on down the line. And Chris Evans, I'm sure, was more of a choice of Joe Johnston than it probably was, anything else. So yeah, I mean,
Kenneth Branagh even really liked Chris Hemsworth.
I was gonna say, I don't know who cast that either. Too, that could have been the same thing too. Because Branagh, he's got enough sway that I would think that he had some say over it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Because that's how he started the MCU. Is he got those strong directors up front.
Well, still, whoever gave him blind, eyebrows needs to never work again. Shit, I wish I would have got that quicker.
Trying to, yeah, that's a good. Well, here's the other part too. So, I know there's a lot of Christopher Nolan fans out there. Warner Brothers was trying to get Christopher Nolan to be in the Kevin Feige situation for this stuff. Christopher Nolan
didn't want anything to do with it.
No,
he hated the fact that the only type of attention he got as a director was with Batman Begins. because that helped him get The Prestige, which was, I think, a really good movie.
Oh, yeah.
And then The Dark Knight kind of blew people away, and he had a lot of pushback for that first year after The Dark Knight, because he wanted to do the Dream movie.
Inception.
He really wanted to do Inception, and he got pushback because they're like, well, we want to get it started on the third Batman film. He's like, he begged, essentially, is the rumors that he begged to have them let him do Inception first, and then he'd do The Dark Knight. And Warner Brothers was like, okay, sure, why not? And he did, and he's been desperately trying to stray away from that. And then when they announced for doing Superman, which Man of Steel was only put into production because they were about to lose the film rights to the Siegel family. So they had a ticking clock to do that. And
there's some stuff in there, but anyway.
And a lot of people suspected that the fast pre-production development of Man of Steel was going to be a Roger Corman Fantastic Four thing, where they're going to just shoot parts of it and then duck to retain the rights and then duck it out and make another movie. Which, in my opinion, I think after hindsight, they should have.
Considering the movie got delayed for a whole year, they should have.
And they had to go to court again for that delay. They had to prove that they shot enough of it that it was a complete film, and then get that delayed because they were going to lose the rights the year that movie debuted. And then Christopher Nolan was basically just trying to distance himself from that. He had some decent influence at the beginning, then walked away, and then came back towards the end, and then walked away again.
From what I heard, they basically just used Nolan to run interference on Peters.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is
he wanted a spider in it.
Yep.
Well, they got the spider in it. That's the thing. The spider's in it.
Yeah, but John Peters wanted some more of his crazy ideas, and Snyder's like, I can't deal with that guy. And
then Christopher Nolan was running interference on that. They also
but Nolan didn't want shit to do with the rest of them either.
Go near the production, which was weird.
And I think that was the biggest mistake too, because my problem with Man of Steel isn't Henry Cavill or most of the cast. It is the fact that it is basically Superman Begins. And I don't know why they felt that was the way to go about this. I mean, it literally is the same fucking movie.
They were trying to catch lightning in a bottle with the Nolan trilogy, but they just
shot the same way, same kind of disoriented storytelling in the beginning and all that kind of shit, and then leads into, linear storytelling.
Well, like, the thing is, we don't understand in that movie what Clark is doing. He's just wandering aimlessly.
Yeah, well, kind of like how Bruce was when he was wandering around the world. But that's what I'm saying.
He was trying to learn how to be a criminal and survive.
I know. But my point is
that part. Yeah.
My point is basically the way Snyder shot it was like they told him, just make this a Superman movie, just like Batman Begins, and without really getting into the character, because he's not real good with characters. Let's say
or dialogue.
Yeah, but like Thomas Wayne, a character almost no one has seen, has more impact in Batman Begins than Jonathan Kent in his Superman movie.
Look,
should I just let him die, Dad?
That Man of Steel made so many mistakes, and the greatest one was having his teacher, be somebody that was willing to let people die.
Yeah,
and
that
also
was
a complete fucking drain. Like he was a drag. Like that story about the horses. Like my God. What? It's such a horrible story.
Yeah, and when he's standing there and the tornado's about to take him.
Oh, is that BVS?
When he talks about the flood. Well, see, that's the one I argue should have been in the movie, because that at least
been in the movie. Yeah,
that should have been in the first movie, because that at least teaches Superman one of the lessons he needs to learn, and that is that
you can't
even if you're a hero, you got to think about how that affects things down the road. Right.
Well, here's the other part that also kind of annoyed me, because Jonathan Kent says that maybe, I don't know. But then he says he says when the world finds out about you, which is it's very distinct that he says when, because Jonathan Kent would be more like if the world finds out about you, because if he says if the world, it means he doesn't know what Clark's going to do with his life. But he says when the world finds out about you, that pretty much makes an understanding of his kids. Like, yeah, he knows his kid is going to start going public with his powers. So if he says when, it's basically, if you're going to go public, you have to be what you did with the bus is right. Like that's the cause and effect of it. But because he says when and not if, there's no doubt there. So you don't have the context of him trying to like teach him a good lesson. It's basically saying, maybe you should have let them die, because when you become a god, you're going to have to do that. It's like, no, that's not the lesson.
The problem is right there's where you need that speech from the Donner Superman movie, just kind of tweaked a little bit, right? Because that's basically what he's saying is you got all these powers, son. I don't know. You're gonna do something someday,
right?
You know, kind of thing.
I know
But
who
you
you
have
are.
to
That
be
you're gonna do
responsible
something,
with it.
But I know one thing for sure is that it's not throwing touchdowns. Like that's
exactly. And at that point, like in that speech, though, in the version of should I let them die, his answer should have been, son, that's not for me to decide. That's for you to decide. But you have to remember that no matter what happens, the moment the world finds out about you, we can't protect you anymore.
Exactly. Also,
like that's what that speech needed to be. Because yes, it needed to be like, yes, you have the power, you should use it, but just remember to take responsibility and care with it. Exactly.
And also maybe think about a wig when you're not being Superman to
or
help.
glasses. Have you thought about glasses?
Something to throw it off a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like wear a mask
But
when you
the
fight.
big thing is you know,
Maybe an eye patch.
You know that Batman guy? He's got the right idea. Considering he's supposed to have already been in existence.
Yeah, he's been doing it 20 years.
That was my thing.
Tom?
Was that what?
I can put a wig on right now if you want me to.
Please.
I can get sexy for you if you want me to.
How does he shave?
Okay, and on that note,
went and
see y'all
shaved.
later.
But how does he shave though?
You know, it's okay, Valiant. You know, it's all right. It's okay. Don't be so defensive.
You're in a safe place.
Superman
Safe
shaves.
place,
No,
safe
I'm
place.
apparently not.
Superman
in a safe
shaves
place
using
right
his
now.
You come
laser
from the theater. You yet like
vision.
you act like, whoa, hey, oh,
Did you know that, man?
No, I can't hear you over what's happening.
Superman uses his
sorry.
laser vision to shave.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So he doesn't use the lawnmower 3?
Mirror.
No. If he's written to have laser vision and not heat vision, he can use a mirror to shave. If he has heat vision, he can't shave because he just melts the mirror.
Wait, is this a real thing? Are y'all just messing with me?
No,
That's
it was
not
a
really
real
how
thing.
he
No,
shaves.
that's what was discussed.
In John Byrne, he basically
amazing you guys are
uses
talking
a
about this bad
All
piece
the
of
way
his
back with John
spaceship that can
Byrne.
reflect his heat vision off to shave.
And
The other
laser.
thing is, and I like this one better because they actually used it in Hancock, is that Superman can use his fingernails to shave.
Yeah, that was a good idea in that.
I-
Hancock I liked. Like Hancock was a movie
Yeah, I like that one.
that really
Yeah.
did a good job of how what would it really be like if one of these super powered individuals was actually on Earth.
well,
The
it's actually
first-
getting
the
better
first act
over-
was
over
great.
time.
And
Damn it,
Superman
man!
didn't
You
get
keep
that.
going over me.
What'd you say, Polly?
Exactly.
I'm sorry, Polly.
Ugh. An amateur hour here. Amateur hour.
Were you going to say something now, or
No, I was saying I just merely said that Hancock it seems to be getting better and better over the years. It's like it's aging well.
It ages well. Yeah.
Yeah,
It does. The first
I may go
Is
back
that
and watch
okay
it.
for me
half
to
of it
say
are
that,
great.
Mad?
Yeah, I was gonna say it a little different. I was just gonna say like the first half. I mean, the first act for sure was like the best part of that whole
Well, the
movie.
third act is where it kind of falls apart. Yeah, and I agree with you
Yeah.
there, Matt.
Thank you.
But going back to Superman, the real problem is I don't think Zach understands characters like Superman, and but I
at all.
can't totally blame him for Man of Steel because Warner gave him that script and said if you want these other films, shoot this film exactly the way it's written.
Well, it
And he
was
did.
also David Goyer, right?
Yeah, David Goyer, Jesus. So,
Pretty much.
but you know,
But the
Zach
thing is,
doesn't
you
understand Superman. He understands Batman. He does
Kind
not
of.
understand Superman.
He
To a
kind of
point,
does.
yeah. To a point.
Batman. That's the other.
He
part, too.
understands. I think I think you said this script. He understands Batman as well as a 12-year-old or something like that.
Something like that, pretty much. He understands Batman
that's
like
what
a
Zach
12-year-old,
is, dude.
because the fact of the matter is, like, Batman shouldn't be killing or using guns because that he's afraid of the dark path that'll lead him down. And the other part too is whenever you read in comics or see on film where the public is talking about how Batman is crazy, they're not right. And that's the irony of it. The fact of the matter is that they're wrong because they're from a very limited perspective of what they think Batman is. We as the audience see the whole picture, and if we as the audience start believing that those ancillary characters that don't know the truth about Batman are right, then we are not clearly paying attention to what's going on the screen, or the director and writer are not conveying properly what's going on. Because that is the brilliance irony of it, is that Batman is incredibly stable and methodical, and his actions do exactly what they're supposed to do. They influence the court of public opinion to believe something which is not true, so that he can maintain the advantage over the criminals and
Well,
maintain his
exactly,
identity.
because the way I always understood Batman in the comics was he didn't mind if everybody was afraid of him.
Exactly. And he
He's
didn't mind
okay
if
with
anyone
that.
thought he was crazy, and he just doesn't care because it's all a distraction from his actual mission.
What is exactly?
Like
Yeah.
if there's a series of politicians saying I want to put a law that outlaws Batman, he's like, this is great, this is perfect. They're never going to
Wow,
be able
script. You and
do
I
that.
should be friends. I don't know why we're not.
I remember, you. I swear I remember bringing this one up on screen earlier, but we must not have read it. Sorry
I
about
don't
that,
like
Tennille.
you.
Says, if it means anything, as someone from LA and whose family is primarily into the industry, I think the bubble is more fragile than we may think. Nothing definitive, just my ear to the ground impression.
It's very easy to leave the bubble.
What bubble?
The bubble of Hollywood, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know if it was like the
Yeah, you
bubble
just
in
pull your head out of your ass, that's all.
Someone from LA whose family is primarily in the industry, which can mean anything, right? I think the bubble is more fragile than we might think. Another fit, just my ear to the ground impression.
We're definitely seeing some change.
Well, I think it starts with if you're in the industry and you're already grounded as a person, right?
Mhm.
And you have like a real life. Because it can suck you up pretty quickly, and that's just like with the day in day out of being in the business,
right?
Script.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not talking about any.
But that's true for a multitude of different.
That's true for
It's good to have a hobby that's not related to what you do for a living, because
Amen.
that helps you sort of break out. Because so many people say like you got to penetrate the bubble. It's like, well, not really. You just have to help the people inside want to take a vacation
Right.
from it, essentially, and that's kind of how you can maintain what you were before you got in the bubble, and also grow as a person, ideally, because the whole concept of the bubble is protection and shielding and arrested development. Like that's it, and no business can truly survive with that.
But it also lends itself to being a bubble.
Yeah.
Like you go on set, and whether you're in front or behind the set of the camera,
you're enclosed
in a bubble just by that work. It just physically, right?
Yeah, you're away from everything for a while.
You're away from the day-to-day reality of the world. Or then you go on location, it's even more so.
Oh yeah, it's bubbles within bubbles, essentially.
No, I think the bubble's being shook. I think some things are being changed up. I know Valiant, from the Disney aspect of things, that they're dealing with a lot of stuff internally right now. We've got the news of this Netflix memo and stuff like that. I think we're starting to see a bit of change, at least from the inside side of things. But like Script always likes to point out, and Andre and such, and myself, it's going to be another 2 or 3 years before we finally see a change on the screen. I mean, we're seeing a little bit now. And I think like this Bill Murray, Fred Savage, Frank Langella thing is part of the last I think some of the other properties they're talking about destroying it still are part of the last But if we can just get through this, I think we'll be all right on the other end of it. Just going to take a couple more years, and we just need to not give up.
It feels like we finally have a light at the end of the tunnel.
We can't
really
let
does.
them have any slack. That's the biggest thing. We can't, the moment people are like, oh, you need to lighten up a little bit. No, we don't. Because the moment we lighten up is the moment one of those little fuckers squeaks through and that starts all over again. I know Gremlins.
Yep.
Okay.
Amen. And
Exactly.
Polly knows this with what he's doing right now with his videos regarding Disney. And we're going to have him on Saturday to really dig our heels in. And I think everybody, all of us involved with this network of friends that we are, really need to dig in on some of these studios and what they're fucking doing and how racist it is.
Well, that's what we try to do. Dearest Munchausen, or at least pointed out anyway. Dearest Munchausen sends in some popcorn. I hope you enjoyed the show and you used that popcorn. Tennille89 says, at Polly. Are you still here, Polly? He goes, well, my dad is an EVP of Fox Sports and my stepmom is EVP of live events for E. So take that what you will. There you go.
Yeah, and that's what I meant. Like, depending on what your family does in the industry, those are different bubbles. An
that's
executive vice president of Fox Sports, that's fantastic. And then executive live events for E. So you
got sports and entertainment coverage right there, so you got some good information coming
right
up.
And their parents are steeped in production, like they know the live events. I mean, that's a lot of knowledge. And so they got a lot. They work a lot with actual crews, with actually with people to produce something. It's not like they're a family just of actors.
That's a whole different type of bubble.
That's a whole different bubble. Correct. This family has actually knows a lot of that's a lot of sweat work there, and in a good way. It's not like but
there's still going to be some stuff that's going to happen that's going to get bad. Don't get me wrong. Like, get ready, kids. Buckle up, buckaroos. We got a ways to go here.
The peak of Re is going to come.
Yeah, the peak is going to come. Yeah, we're just starting to see it. But the good thing that we're starting to see it. That's the main thing. So
I'm worried about the new season of Orville because the trailer, as beautiful as it looks, I'm spotting things going, oh.
Well, and Seth is always on that line of woke, right? Like he's every time he says something smart, he says something stupid, and it's like and I mean, I don't expect everybody to agree with me, but there's just common sense has gone out the motherfucking window, right?
It's been gone for decades.
As you say, script, it is now super sense.
Well, I will say this. Shortly before, about an hour before y'all started, I put out the video I've been trying to get
I'm
done.
still waiting to watch it.
Well, that's your problem. No, it's still out there. No, I'm kidding. On the whole Disney earnings report. And there was several elements in there that really caught my attention. And, the stock really hadn't moved that much since that earnings report came out. I think there's still a lot of digesting going on. But some of the things that caught my eye is something that I've been saying on my channel. I've been saying it here on MEAD since I've been a guest here for almost, I guess, a year or whatever it's been. There's going to come a sense of reality back to the financial side, back to the business side. And all of this hyperbolic focus on the desire for just subscriber growth, streaming subscriber growth. We want to see more numbers. How many new subs did you add? Blah, 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 blah. And I've been consistent on this because I kept seeing this. I said at some point, everybody's going to have to open their eyes and realize that really doesn't flipping matter. The streaming services are having a serious problem of profitability. It doesn't matter how many subs they're adding. And it's coming to the realization of a lot of industry analysts and investors. I watched, oh my God, probably a dozen different industry analyst experts on various business and finance channels today. Not just YouTube, but I'm talking about like broadcast or cable news networks and things like that. And they're all starting to sound off. And I'm like, shit, I've been saying this for months. And they're starting to say, well, we're looking at Disney Plus's numbers. And, okay, well, they added 7.9 million new subscribers in the previous fiscal quarter. And that's great. But you know what? Year over year, their operating margin dropped another 600 million. I mean, their operating income, their losses, rather, I should say, tripled. They went from a negative 300 million at this time last year to negative 900 million. But
and
they added
Disney, right?
Disney Plus, and they added another $1 billion per quarter in revenue. They went from almost $4 billion in revenue in fiscal quarter 2 of 2021 to almost $5 billion in fiscal 2022 this year. But their losses tripled. Why is that? The spending, the acquisition costs, the creating of content, all of this, it's just literally just throwing money into a gasoline-fueled fire at this point.
Yeah,
and they're all
haven't
starting
turned a profit from Star Wars.
No, they haven't. And they're starting to wake up to the fact that just getting in new eyeballs and just bringing in subs doesn't matter. Remember where we are at this point. When this started, Robert Iger claimed that they would have 230 to 260 million new subscribers by the end of Disney fiscal 24, which is September 30th, 2024. That is 10 fiscal quarters from now. 10 fiscal quarters, at least, from when this report that we got yesterday concluded. They have to add in about 9 million subs per quarter between now and then to hit that goal on average. That's a shitload. And I think the wake-up call is starting to come. They're looking at this now. It's like, well, we're halfway or more than halfway, supposedly, to that point, that projection point. And the profitability keeps shrinking. We keep going deeper and deeper into losses. Disney keeps talking about spending more and more money. That profitability measure that Robert Iger made for 2024, well, that was based when the content spend assumption when Disney Plus started was like not even half of what they're actually spending now. So this is going to be really interesting. And I think kind of the more sensible value proposition, the more value-oriented investor, that mindset is starting to definitely come in. And it's not just with Disney, don't get me wrong. But I think people are starting to wake up to the fact that this is great. Disney could hit 200 million subscribers tomorrow. Fantastic. Great. Are you making any money from it? The answer is probably going to be, as of right now, no.
Well, you look at Netflix too, though.
Netflix at least
is still $3 billion in debt. They've not, filled that hole.
They have debt. Every company operates on leverage. I'm not worried about the debt so much. I'm worried about positive cash flows. Positive cash flows in terms of how much revenue did we take in? How many expenses did we have? Did we have a positive result at the end of the quarter? Netflix at least is turning a profit. Having debt is okay. I mean, unless it's way over levered, like the amount of debt that you have compared to your revenues, your cash flows.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. They have like one of the largest debts that's just crazy because they made bad decisions.
Well, they're spending a lot. And that's why they're cutting back now, but they at least still have positive cash flows, more or less.
Well, they have that largest subscribership to help a little bit.
They also have a far higher RPU than Disney does, like 2 to 3 times as much. But the point is this. This is where Disney is going, and they're starting to realize this. And I said like 6-7 months ago, and nobody else, all the other analysts out there were like, yeah, there's no way that Netflix will ever add, an ad-based tier. They're the premium streaming service out there. That would be a downgrade for them. Yeah, well, guess what? Netflix is adding an ad-based tier. Told you so.
I told you so too.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Script has said the same thing. He's probably the only other guy out here that has been claiming that, because he and I totally agree on this point. And that is that advertising is a key component. Advertising profitability, that is a huge cash flow driver for any media company. It doesn't matter if it's a linear broadcast over the air, if it's cable, if it's streaming, I don't give a crap. Advertising is a key revenue driver. They all have to go that route. And what they're figuring out is we have to bring that in, right? Because if we go back, like we've been talking about here, Midnight's Edge, Mind Channel, everybody else for, a year, look at Discovery, right? They have a $5 a month ad-based tier that basically generates a higher RPU than their premium tier without ads. They're all starting to wake up to this. We can bring in more subs, we can bring in more ads, we can drive this, and the advertisers are going to gravitate towards the most popular shows.
I have that tier.
There you go.
Well, that's where you make the most money, because what they did not see, which I saw at the very beginning, is that you're going to have a subscription cap, not just in numbers, but in what you can charge. Mm-hmm. But when you have a really successful show, guess what? You have a bidding war with advertisers that want to get that commercial spot, which means you have unlimited potential income with that. That is what you need. And I would not be surprised if eventually there will be streaming options for your premiums, which will be of a higher tier, but it might go to the way of traditional network television, which means all you had to do back in the day was buy a TV and plug it in, and you could watch your basic channels. You didn't need a cable box. Maybe you just need an antenna or an additional antenna, but that's all you needed, because the networks, the production companies, they all realized that it was all just about selling advertisement and making the money off of that, because a successful company will pay through the nose for a 90-second spot, a 90-second of collective commercial ads over a half hour of show of television. They will pay a lot of money for that, and we can see the how reliable that is with the Super Bowl. The millions and millions and millions of dollars they spend on getting commercial time for those limited spots. Like, that's basically what the streaming model needs to be. It needs to make sure that every dropping of a new episode or movie on their service can garner the same type of interest that the Super Bowl can. And that only happens when you have a financial incentive, which goes great for quality of shows, which means that if you write something like Naomi or Batwoman and you drop it on a streaming service and it doesn't bring in the numbers, guess what? It's not going to be 3 years before that thing's canceled. It's going to be canceled within a month, and they're going to get something new to occupy that financial investment so that they can earn that big tier. They want that bidding war. They want McDonald's and Wendy's to bid on a commercial spot for the next Marvel Disney Plus show that's going to be a hit. They want that, and it's not going to happen with a subscriber based only model.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
And the best part is that you as an audience, you think you're going to suffer because you have to wait through a commercial, but the fact of the matter is that if the show is really great and you love it, you probably want that commercial so you can go to the bathroom or something.
Well, and if you have DVR, you can fast forward through it.
Here's the thing: there have been studies on this, marketing research studies, and I think I covered this on one of the videos. But if I know I read this just in the last couple of months, there's the definitive. They've been tracking this because of all these streaming services going into these ad-based models. The vast majority of people are willing to watch at least some ads. Now, if they get overzealous with it, it could turn people sour.
Oh,
right?
like the late 90s when the half-hour shows went from 25 minutes to 20 minutes and you had 10 minutes of ad for every half hour. Yeah, that was a big mistake.
Right, exactly. But most people surveyed said they'd be willing to watch ads on a streaming system if it cut their costs in half. So if Netflix comes out, like right now, I don't even know. I think I paid $18-19 a month for Netflix. Because I've got 5 people in my house, so I have the biggest package they offer, so everybody can watch. So if I could get, for most people out there, if you could go from that to go down to say $11 a month or $10 a month
or $3.99 when it launched.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, there's definitely an appetite out there, and especially now that Netflix is trying to weed out this password sharing issue that's going on or has been going on. Yeah. So if they can weed that out and say, look, you know what? You want to jump into, like, you're a single user and you want to access Netflix. We're going to have a $4.99 a month Netflix tier just for you. Super cheap. You'll watch some ads. Now, can you imagine the advertisers right now, if they could get this out in time? Cobra Kai comes out September 9th.
Yep.
Who the hell doesn't want to advertise it? You know that's going to get like 3 billion watch minutes.
Exactly.
And this is exactly what Script
launches.
Doctor and I were talking about a year ago now, about how this is what the streaming services are going to have to do because cable and television are dying, and this is the next avenue source, and they can't expect
got to go somewhere.
people to stick around forever.
Cable too. In the early
I
days
tell you,
of
and
cable, there was
Paramount
no
was smart.
advertising.
Paramount was smart doing it too, because that's the tier I have. I watch the ads. I'm cool with it.
I got the $5
Paramount and
thing,
Peacock.
Same here.
Peacock just needs to get their butts in gear with the quality of shows to meet the level. But
Exactly.
they
That's
have
the problem with Peacock.
They have the model in place, like it's already there. They have no infrastructure to worry about. They just have to maintain it and do necessary upgrades here and there. But again, NBC is notorious for making a couple of hits and a lot of garbage. So
the only reason I still have Peacock is
spaghetti model.
because I keep forgetting to cancel it. You know what I mean?
Same
Like,
here, dude.
I thought you wanted to keep on watching that Saved by the Bell sequel show.
Oh, I can't believe they canceled it. Damn, come on.
I got Peacock just to watch Halloween Kills, and I still have it.
Same here,
Wow.
Valiant. I even have the Blu-ray, and I still.
I gotta tell you,
I
do
I got
love
the 4K, and I still
Amazon.
have the shit.
Yeah,
Amazon is really good for this because you can get some of your subscriptions through them.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
do.
easier to manage through Amazon. I got to
It's
tell
not
you, dude.
not really. I was like, I'll
mean,
do
it
the
is.
seven.
I
I'll
gotta
do the
tell
7-day trial for Showtime. Still got it.
Well, I can't even
Still
get rid of
gotta get
Paramount
rid of
Plus
that.
now because Mrs. Renegade found out. She asked me, "Do we have Paramount?" I'm like, "Yeah, actually, I signed up for it. I can't get rid of it now."
Well,
She
I've been
started
watching the offer on there. and
She
oh my
started
God.
watching Ghosts. I'm done.
Ghosts, The Offer.
Which version?
gotta
The
watch
British
The Offer,
version's
man.
funny. The American
I
version.
Offer's
got
on my
Paramount
list.
Plus.
I might try to do that this
Well,
weekend.
Taylor Sheridan is kind of one of their golden goose over there because he's got 3 shows, I think, with them, and Paramount Plus. If they can
2.
keep going, or 2 right now, but I think a third one's coming.
There's a
next
third
year,
one.
right?
Well, the other thing is the big fuck up that happened was when Yellowstone ended up on Peacock instead of on Paramount with all
they
the other stuff.
screwed
But
that
I got to
pooch.
tell you,
Yeah.
1883, great fucking. It's a one-shot series. He said, and it was really good, great ending. I love the Mayor of Kingstown. What a fucking show! My God, that guy.
That's with
Even
Renner.
when he writes a woke character, he has them interacting with someone who is not woke, and it shows how that conversation would go. I
Sounds
love
like Promised Land.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which
I actually watched
can't
the
believe that's
first
not coming
episode of that because of you. Good stuff.
I like HBO Max probably the most out of all.
Me too, personally.
Which one?
HBO Max
is great,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
all of their HD upres and conversions and remasters are lacking quality control.
That is very true.
True.
Because in fact, they have the same exact master of The Freshman on there that I have on that Blu-ray that's nasty as fuck. Did you hear me bitching about that script?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did that. I was looking at some of their older shows that they had. I was watching one episode of like Lois and Clark Superman just for researching on something, and they're missing sound effects, and they have the wrong color for kryptonite, so they have
Jesus.
in the practical what it was like a blue light. It's like they didn't color correct it to be green.
Did they remaster that show yet or no?
Well, they basically remastered the stuff that was shot on film, but I believe at the time when they were shooting it, they were shooting on a normal 35 camera, and then they were also shooting on Betamax because for some of the spec shots,
That
because
could have
the
been.
quality is completely different to certain parts.
Oh, so they did. They did scan the film then, because the
They
original
scanned
show
it
was
and-
shot in widescreen. I know that.
I wanted to
not
ask
really,
you guys
no. It
something
was
else
shot in
about
4:3.
Paramount.
Well, that first episode was in widescreen then. I know that for a fact because all the Comic-Con footage that's on the old DVD is in widescreen, and it is full widescreen, and you can see shit on the sides that is not on the episode.
Yes,
Because of the way it was cut?
the
They
pilot.
cropped it off, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Was it just the pilot then, or what?
It was just the pilot, but they did still shoot on. They shot 4:3, but they shot on actual.
I mean,
film
I know
and
for a
then
lot of
taped.
shows that they would shoot on Betamax or some other form of video if they needed to do quick shoots or certain things. Because like Seinfeld
certain
was
camera
another
movements.
one. Yeah, and Seinfeld was another one that was guilty of that because they had like the 2 or 3 cameras set up, and 2 of them must have been film, and then one of them is like a video camera because
It was like a tape. Yeah.
because you'll cut in between shots and here and there, and it'll be like one shot will be clearly that setup was the video shot, and for some reason they don't have for that. But like most classic shows before, say, I think I'm going to say
Well,
probably
like even some of their detective shows and procedurals, they have the same thing. They have people shooting guns, but there's no sound of the guns being shot. So you see like the spark, the digital effect spark, but there's like it's just silent. It's basically they tried to remaster the audio as well, but they left out certain tracks. Which is nuts because the DVD master audio on a lot of these shows is actually superb. The audio master's full 5.1 Dolby, all that stuff when they were releasing it physical. So
maybe they lost the stems and they didn't realize it.
I think they also had to
on
do
this
some music
subject, I
rights
really
changes
want to
too.
ask you
That
guys:
could
has
be.
everybody seen? Because we don't get the 4K copy of Star Trek: The Motion Picture until September, but it is available on Paramount.
It's 4K, but depending on how you're watching it, it varies. in
Well, once
quality.
again, the quality of your internet has.
Well, it's not just
huge
that,
play.
but depending on how you're watching it, because like on Amazon, that's where I get my Paramount. It's in 4K, but it's not in HDR.
See, everything but Paramount.
And I think the only place you
I
can
watch
watch it
it on
through
Paramount.
Paramount Plus with the HDR, 4K, all that business, I think is through one of the sticks, like the Roku stick or something like that, is the only one that actually handles it.
Interesting.
Can I ask, is anybody else watching We Own This City?
No,
I'm terrified of it because
you love The Wire?
producing it. And no, because I'm afraid that they're going to be bad representation of law enforcement.
Okay, so I'm watching
I
it.
love law enforcement, and I don't like it when Hollywood people take shots at them.
I am a big fan of The Wire. I think it's still relevant. I think it
Good
was
show.
so
Yeah.
well done, right? This show, they're so concerned with what they want to say about law enforcement and about like justice or what have you, that they forgot that the thing that made The Wire so great is because they had characters. This one, I don't know anybody. I don't care about anyone in here. They don't give them
Sounds like Star Trek.
any arc. They're
Yeah,
just
right.
they're just there to and I at times I'm mad because I'm like, what? No, that's not why they're doing it when they're talking about the police and why they do the things that they do. But then I'm like, wait a minute. I can see why those people in those positions would say those things. So I feel like it's accurate, but there's no counter to their BS. Like The Wire always had a counter.
Yeah.
there's no other side here. It is one side, and they don't care about characters, and I'm really getting frustrated with the freaking show. Sorry, I've got to talk about it.
Rave
No,
Girl
good
sends
point.
Rave Girl sends in $4.99. We gotta get to see super chats. Paulie, great video about Disney dissing Latinos. Very eye-opening and good job of calling them out, says Rave Girl. And I seen you plug that in the chat earlier as well.
Yeah. There's some fishy things going on, and I'm not really happy about it. And I'm gonna keep digging and checking stuff out. But they did just greenlight a mini docu-series on Sábado Gigante, and I see what kind of crowd Disney wants, and I see what they want to control, like, as far as storytelling wise and creative wise. I'm not really happy about that. I'm actually not happy at all about that. And check out my videos. They produced a show called Promised Land. And if it's not your genre, I get it, but it's such an original show that it's almost like a work of art. Mexican Ironman calls it a work of art. I call it a work of art. It was very different. And then they only gave it 5 episodes on ABC on Monday night, and then they dumped the rest of the season on Hulu. Complete disgrace. An amazing, brilliant cast, and the lead, John Ortiz, who me and Tom have interviewed. This guy's been on Carlito's Way, been acting for decades. The lead, he retweets my video, and he says, he was thanking us, the slant, and he's like, I talked to Paulie more about marketing than the people who ABC hired.
That's sad.
Wow. And I'm just that, and then it made me think of what Edward James Olmos said to us last year, Tom, when we interviewed him, where he says, I got to go in to pitch meetings and still explain the Latino experience. And I'm sick. I went like convulsed. I was like, that's it, man. So yeah, check out those videos.
Oh, that's funny. Eldritch Hitch. Next on Disney Plus, Discounto.
Well, that's the problem, and Paulie and I were talking about this privately, is that man, these people, the problem with them is they act like they give a shit. But what it is about scoring points, and once they got those points, they move on to the next thing and fuck what they made. And that's the fakeness of their virtue signaling.
We're gonna get into it. We're gonna do a stream, me and Gary, in a few days on your channel, and there's a couple of interesting connect the dots type of like that dissing of Lin-Manuel Miranda last year, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I was just talking about that. Yeah.
I think that's what's happening with some of the creatives behind Promised Land because of who else they're connected with. And so I'm looking into it, but are we surprised? Because maybe they don't have the Wocoso talking points down. So check out my videos, guys. And thank you to the super chat.
Yeah, watch Paulie's stuff, man. It's not as bad as you think.
Mecha J says apparently Blumhouse is producing a movie for Peacock, and it's titled, I kid you not, They Them.
Yeah, it's a horror
They
film.
Them.
With Kevin Bacon. Someone is killing a bunch of people and going in through at a transition camp.
Interesting. Eclay asked, is it about radioactive mutated transgender ants? That was my first thought too, Eclay, but evidently not.
That would be interesting, though.
Especially with Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, and ants being drones, like they technically don't have a gender because the gender is drone.
I can't tell if these ants are boys or girls.
I'm sorry, that's funny.
Actually, we should if anyone says they're non-binary, we can just say, so you're a drone? Because that's...
So you're a drone.
That means there's a queen. She doesn't want to be queen. I don't know. Anyway, Tennille says, where's the most severe tantrum of the final likely to come from? Paramount or Disney or other, I guess. Curious what the panel thinks.
The final.
Depending on how
I think it's
long,
going to be Warner Brothers. I really do.
I don't think it's going to come from a studio. I think it's going to come from a group of people, and that is going to be those group of people that finally find themselves in the unemployment line.
Star Wars writers group?
No,
No.
well, you're close. I would not be surprised if J.J. Abrams or his wife start getting behind something if they see a potential opportunity there.
I think it's going to come maybe from Pixar. Well,
because I never expected
I hear
them
what
to
you're
ever
saying.
go
I
woke.
know. Trust me, I know.
I'll tell you
when
why.
Lasseter was gone, they did. Yeah.
Somebody, tagged me in a, and I have to go do some digging on this. This was apparently some kind of research study, some marketing research, but it was a question of what would you rather go see in a theater versus see it at home? And there was a list of a bunch of upcoming titles, starting with Maverick and just going down the line. One of the worst scores on there, 39% for Lightyear said they would go see it in theaters versus the 61% that would rather see it at home. If that's true, that's a bellwether. I mean, we have watched now Kareem Daniel, who was the chief VP at Disney Distribution. He's the guy basically making the decisions on where these things go, along with Alan Bergman. And of course, Pixar has been relegated to Disney Plus now for 3 films in a row, the most recent of which was Turning Red. And I found it interesting, the conversations I had, WDW Pro and I talked about this, that you had Encanto that came out in theaters that just did not do very well at all. It lost money at the box office. The first, I think, maybe ever for a Disney animated film. But when it went to Disney Plus, it turned into a huge hit, drew a bunch of new subs. In fact, a lot of the new subs they had came from South America. Big hit, possibly from a marketing issue. Turning Red.
It was all a marketing issue.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right, because it wasn't their own making. It became an organic hit with the TikTok generation, and with South America claiming those songs and that story, because it was dead in the water. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, Paulie. I think there was a marketing snafu on Disney's part. And then part of it, as I've been saying, is that, a lot of these studios have been effectively training people to stay at home and watch things on streaming services. And that's part of the problem. Mm-hmm. But, this was what was interesting, Paulie, is that, and I don't know if you saw this, but Encanto stayed at the top of the original movie Nielsen charts for like a month. They were getting 1.5 billion watch minutes a week on Disney Plus. It was the biggest thing Disney Plus had since Mando season 2. Then Turning Red, they dumped immediately onto Disney Plus, which never was in theaters at all, right? You would think that this would have been an even bigger hit, or at least as big a hit as Encanto, because it never made it to the big screen. I think it barely has averaged half or less than the watch minutes of Encanto. So this is the kind of funny thing going forward with what the hell they're going to do with Pixar. Because remember, Pixar was the one that started this whole kerfuffle with Disney and the whole Florida House Bill 1557 and Parental Rights and Education Bill kerfuffle. They're the ones who launched this, right? They were the biggest, baddest voices. They even came out and put an article in Variety saying that Disney has stopped us repeatedly from inserting quote unquote overtly gay affection into movies, right? Into the children's programming they were going to do.
Yeah.
So Turning Red came out and it really wasn't as big as what they'd hoped for in Disney Plus. Now you got Lightyear. That's the next big Pixar thing coming up. And that's the one where Pixar like, oh, we won the battle, right? We got to put this gay kiss scene back into the movie. They let us put it back in. Well, they didn't put that in the trailer. They haven't been advertising it. They've been burying the fact that that's going to be in there since that article came out. But I think people are starting to learn about it. And it's like, people are showing that they just, maybe they're not going to go to the theater to see this. That's going to be very interesting. If that thing really tanks at the box office for Disney, when you have all these other animated movies that are doing relatively well, at least financially compared to their budget and marketing expenditures, like Sonic 2, Disney's really going to have to do some soul searching on this. Disney's really going to have to figure out what where it wants to go from here, because if that thing does not do well at the box office, that is going to be a bloodbath.
Well, and I understand where you're coming from too, because a lot of what I know of Pixar is they're one of the worst festering messes inside.
They're worse than Lucasfilm.
In a lot of ways, yes.
Lucasfilm is bad, but Pixar is 10 times.
Oh, we've actually been called misogynistic and racist by somebody from Pixar. I won't say who.
God, lucky.
Paul, you were about to say something.
Yeah, with the Disney Plus, they're gonna go with this mini docuseries, which I think is brilliant because it's on Sábado Gigante in Don Francisco. You talk about, it's probably one of the biggest, most unifying, shows. It was like it ran 50 years. It was a variety show, ran 50 plus years. All of Latin America had it. So that's great. That's smart. They got the guy who did the Walter Miranda documentary as well. So, if that's the audience that they're going for, that's a no-brainer. It's fantastic. I think it's when they try to creatively control and create new IPs that they run into trouble. Like, you got to remember, this is the same company that tried to trademark an Aztec Mexican holiday in Day of the Dead. They actually tried to trademark it. They eventually got what they wanted with Coco, and then they got the parades and they got the merchandise, and now they have that with Encanto. So yeah,
I just want to correct something. John Lasseter didn't leave.
That's right.
He was fired.
That's right.
Yeah.
He was flat out
He
shit
was
canned.
Me Too fired.
Yeah, he was flat out
Over
Me Too'd over
nothing.
hugs. And what it really boiled down to, and this is the shortest version I'll tell you, it was between that movie Brave and I can't remember the other one, but like basically, let's just say that some people that were kind of behind those, that were younger, up and coming individuals, didn't want to listen to an old white man who may have had more experience than them. So they found a way to get rid of him.
Yep.
And we see where that got them.
Skydance has been laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
I don't
Pixar has
believe
not had a
half
huge
the-
hit in a long time.
Yeah, and I don't believe half the bullshit they said, because most of it isn't even that bad to where it feels extremely stretched. Like they tried to paint him as a drunk and a groper.
It's ridiculous.
Sorry, that's absurd, man.
That guy is as white and as milk. I mean, it's ridiculous. That dude just.
I've never heard dirt on the guy. Like,
That's the point.
That's it. I mean, he's as clean
He's too
as the
pure
wind
for
from east
Hollywood.
snow.
Yeah, I've Googled him multiple times, never got any hits.
See?
Who are we talking about?
You.
To clarify, when I
John
was saying he
Lasseter.
was white as milk, I didn't mean,
Skin-wise,
race-wise.
but no, he was
clean.
He's milk toast. He's very by the
I
book
thought you
kinda
were just
guy.
Exactly.
being racist,
Yeah.
Valiant.
He was. Yeah,
Who is
exactly.
this?
I know.
John Lasseter of formerly
Yeah,
of
that's what I
Pixar.
said. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The
John Lasseter.
genius of Pixar
Yeah.
that Disney then shit canned stupidly.
I think he's at Skydance now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
he
That's
is,
what,
and
that's
you
what
read
we were
that in the
saying.
chat. Yes.
No, I did not.
You liar.
What's coming up next, Tom? I do have some good news.
Well, we got a couple more super chats, but if you want to share your good news first, you can, or you can wait.
I can wait. Like
All right.
I got two items.
Okay. We got Mexican Iron Man in the house who hasn't been able to make it on the show because he's been dealing with traveling, and we hopefully have safe travels.
I don't have time for you.
Iger was the real idiot. He says that sold the story that the value of Disney stock was his Disney Plus pet project. The real cash is Parks Hospitality Vacations. Some subs don't matter if ARPU sucks. Yeah. He would know. He's one of the money guys, and I don't think Valiant would argue with him, probably.
No.
Then we got Tennille, who says, I propose a biopic of Mexican Iron Man. I'm open to that. Films open on his Motu heartbreak and depicts his rise to the power of the head of a rabbit chicken franchise empire to fund his evil revenge upon Kevin Smith.
You know, the funny thing with that is that his real story is actually pretty epic.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
No, but you
It's
know what else
actually-
is epic? That lie about this rabbit chicken empire. He has got these things all over the place. We don't know what to do with them. We can't sell them quick enough
They're
before
not they're not moving, huh?
we don't know how they keep reproducing. We can't figure it out. We don't see no holes or peckers. We don't know what the hell they're doing.
Listen, when
He said peckers.
I heard him talking about this rabbit chicken thing, because I stopped watching that movie, the Legends
what
of
the rabbit
Rings
chicken is?
and Chung. Well, I went back and like, let me go look at this rabbit chicken, and I never saw it. I saw a dragon thing.
Oh, yeah,
Dragon.
it was there.
A dragon. I swear I saw a
So
dragon.
cheap.
Maybe I.
Do you like rabbit? Do you like chicken? Have you ever wondered what it would be like to have both at the same time but can never find both at the same place? Well, Disney and Shang-Chi have taken care of that for you. That's right. You can get yourself rabbit chicken meat, now available at every Walmart and Costco.
What you waiting for? Move your feet and get some rabbit chicken meat.
It's good. 4 wings and 6 legs, they were made for eating.
That was in the movie?
Yes, it was actually. It was a post-credit
dang it.
scene.
Can somebody give me a timestamp? I don't. Oh, it was a post-credit scene. I didn't know that.
And Mikey,
post-credit scene.
Mexican women actually
man.
has a stuffed one.
Yeah, he does.
I went back and
Goddess of
fast
Women.
forward through that whole movie for nothing.
Goddess of Whims in the house that says, I'd rather have in-show ads. I sure do love a cold Coca-Cola than watch some ad 4 times. That happens to us on Paramount. Yes. If I have to watch, well, here's the other thing that pisses me off about Paramount Plus. I pay for the non-ad version, but they force you to watch one of the previews for one of their new things that are out there before whatever you watch.
You can't skip it because I know
You
they
can-
do the
maybe
same
you can
thing on
fast forward
Amazon.
it. I have to try it. I never did try it. And
Amazon
I've
lets
seen
you
the-
skip it.
It doesn't have the little skipped feature. So, and I've seen that fucking Scream trailer so many goddamn.
Well, you also have a fast forward feature.
I don't know if it'll let me do
'cause
that. I'm gonna try it.
I've tried it and I've fast forwarded through the
Good.
trailers, not the ads, but the trailers.
I want to get through that fucking. I'm so sick of seeing that bastard.
You know, the worst that I've seen so far, because I'm a big advocate and fan, and apparently you are too, of Pluto TV, because that's the Pluto TV background there.
No, I just stole it from somewhere. It looked cool. I know Pluto
I think
TV,
that's
but I've
Pluto.
never really watched it. It
But
might be.
I watch a lot of the classic TV
Actually, I
stuff
think
they've
the
got,
actual name
and
of it is
Stargate.
something to do with Gordon Ramsay. So,
Oh, really?
so it's like a
'Cause it
show
really
that might
looks
have been
like
on
the
Pluto.
It looks like the animation between shows.
It might have
on
been
Pluto.
something off the Pluto fucking website for all I know behind Gordon Ramsay, and I just stole it. I'm a thief.
But the thing that drives me crazy with Pluto is you're watching like a show that is G-rated, and they've got like abortion ads and ads for like just crazy feminine hygiene shit.
Well, and I think that's kind of what Goddess of Women is getting at too, and I agree. Like, at least once we get to this point where the ad-based system is a lot like cable, then we'll finally actually see some decent ads, and it won't be multiple same ads. And
Well, that all depends if they get rid of the programming software that they have now for advertisement that they started using in 2001. So if you noticed in 2001, if you watch network television, you'd see the same 3 commercials during a half-hour time slot, mixed in with a couple of others. That was purchased. Well, not like the ad spot was purchased for the show, but sometimes they wouldn't have as many airing within the quarter that they're doing it, so they would just triple up the ads on a particular episode in order to meet their requirements with the contracts. The problem was that when they started doing a digital program with that, they wouldn't even take that into account. So some advertisers would get more commercial, repeat of their commercial for and only paying once, and some would pay 3 or 4 times for over a course of a week, and all those commercials would be dropped within a 2-hour broadcast.
Right.
So they have to go back to the old school where there's actually a human being who schedules when the advertisements come or negotiates when the advertisements come.
you
with
can't
the actual
trust the machine to randomize that shit. Yeah.
Exactly. Because the other part too is even advertisers do this. Advertiser accounts. So if you run a business, big or small, and your ad account says we're going to buy commercial time, make sure you pay attention to what time slots and when they're airing it, because sometimes they just say that arbitrarily and send it off to whatever network or affiliate is going to run the ads, and then they determine when they run the ad. And that is actually a bad deal, but that's been happening more frequently over the past few years.
Yeah, and I know what you're talking about, Gotta Swim. I had that on a lot of multiple.
No, again, because that's an AI thing. Basically, but basically the only thing's happening is one company said, I'm buying ads for this show on this service. And then the other company's like, okay, great, put it through the computer to drop the ad. They don't care that they're not being spaced out properly for maximum coverage of the
exactly.
ad.
Or
they
they're
just care about it being like, yes, we aired your thing 4 times. And it's on the same show. That's wrong. That's actually bad for business for the advertiser, and even bad for the network or streaming service that's putting it on there.
Yeah, I remember Hulu had a problem with that way back when they first started.
YouTube did that for years.
Yeah, YouTube still does it. I saw that Avatar trailer so much over the past day that I'm gonna puke if I see it again.
Dude, YouTube Premium is worth it, man.
I've thought about it.
Not only do you get ad free, you can listen to it in the background, so you can go and mess around with other apps while the video is still playing. Yep. You also get YouTube Music, which is really good.
Oh, I love YouTube Premium.
Are you paid by YouTube, Mad?
No, but if Mama Susan is listening, please.
I've got YouTube Premium. It's definitely worth it.
I've thought about it, but I just have this weird thing about giving them money. Sometimes I like seeing the ads because they're dumb. This says the only thing Peacock has for me is the Exo Squad for free.
Exo Squad.
I know they got the old SNL. That's one thing I kind of hung on to it for, but I've never gotten back to. And I'm afraid if I get rid of it now, I won't be able to keep the low price. Kind of like with Hulu. Mech 1164 says that's what's frustrating about Babylon 5 is on HBO Max. They did an upgrade, but still from the 4:3 frame. B5 was shot on film in widescreen specifically because they knew HD was around the corner.
Oh yeah, that's another one. I mean, it's not the best transfer, but it's still pretty good.
Better than what we
it's
got
missing
before.
some aspects to it.
Oh, that sucks.
Which is unfortunate, but that's one of the things that once Zaslav, I think, finds his footing at Warner Brothers and starts going through every department, he's going to have to go back to HBO Max and their physical media area and basically say, we got to start doing this the way we can actually make money off of it again. It's going to be a little pricey, but it'll be worth it in the long run. Because, I mean, there's songs that they have not renewed the rights to, which are incredibly cheap because the bands have been broken up for over a decade. And they're willing to take scraps. Like, it's crazy. It's
well,
like,
there's not much excuse because Warner owns a third of the music in the industry.
Yeah, don't they own like maybe Sony's under REM, but like Warner's owns a whole bunch of other.
Doesn't matter. My point is that's just it. You had all these different music companies for years, and now they're all conglomerated under 3. And that's Sony, BMG,
Warner has a third of it.
Warner, and I can't remember the name of the other one. I think it's Universal MCA or whatever. But anyway, so they all 3 own everything. Like Warner handles Disney's shit and a bunch of other stuff. And yeah, I don't understand why they're having issues with the music at this point. There should be less problems with the music.
There's even
now.
Replacements of original music that Warner Brothers commissioned for the show for shows when they originally aired in the 70s, 80s, and 90s that they don't use.
There is something up with the sound. I don't know if they got a poor, like maybe they had a, because see, Warner Brothers is supposed to be well known for their preservation, right?
Yes.
But maybe somebody in the fucking sound department sucked ass for years, because I'll tell you what, there has been multiple, and I'm not just saying, because you just brought up Lois and Clark, which I was not aware of. But you realize that both Superman and the Batman films have all had a lot of the sound effects redone on them too? Yeah. And a lot of and Mad Max films and a bunch of other Warner Brothers films. I think they lost a bunch of their audio tracks somewhere.
Their masters?
Yes. Something does not add up here, because there are so many of these movies that they're doing this to that it's just like, why is this a problem? Because Batman's new enough. It's like, how the fuck did you lose the original stems for Batman? And if that's the case, because there's some of the effects are there, but then like some of the gunshots and some of the other things are different sound effects.
Yep.
And a lot of people have noticed. And I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. And I can't believe there wasn't a 6-track digital soundtrack for Batman any fucking way. Right? So why would you already have that there, like done?
Well, here's the other part too.
For
And
those
I know
who don't know,
'cause-
big movies, when they would do the big movies, they do a 70 millimeter release. They usually did a 6-track soundtrack to go with it, or 4-track at least.
Yeah, so one of my relatives works in digital compositing and post-production, and one of the things that he talks about is that if you're missing the original audio master files, all you have to do is go back to the physical media and sample, and then you can eventually find the source on one of their databases. Like they actually have a reconciliation source, and it doesn't take long for them to do that. And the worst case scenario is they have to redo the sound, and by that they have to either redo the Foley or whatever they have to do, which can be expensive, but the fact of the matter is that they're paying for a restoration or an up convert of the core. And it has, and for legal reasons, it has to be identical, because the moment you start doing something that is different or you relay the sound, someone else gets a piece of that pie, so to speak. And they want to minimize that as possible. What I'm thinking was happening at HBO is that in their rush to get the content, some of the content out, they kind of cut corners in certain parts and then hoping nobody would catch it. But again, this stuff has been out for a couple of years now. People are starting to catch it, and it's got to be addressed.
Yeah. And for those who don't know what stems are, it's when you do an audio recording, you have each track is separated. So when they have it on the main soundtrack, it's separated out, so you can usually go back, and that's how they can do TV versions and cut out, you know, the voice, but not cut out the sound effects and the music and all that kind of stuff, because it's all on separate tracks when they initially put it together. And then when they send it out to theaters, then it's done on a down mix. But even by the 80s, they had 6-track sound. Like Star Wars had 6-track sound, like where they had 6 channels of sound, to where that's good enough. You don't need to do an upgrade. Just put that on there. Like, to me, it's just like Superman is the one that bothers me too, because that's another one they'd redone a bunch of the sound effects on. So that makes me feel like Warner lost a bunch of their audio somewhere, or they didn't categorize it well enough and catalog it to where they know where this shit is.
I'm pretty sure it's in Burbank.
That's what I'm saying.
Sure
it should all be there.
It's there somewhere.
It should. It makes, you know, but why else would you logically change gunfire and just random things? Like, just, it makes no sense. Like somebody I think said that, like, remember, right? Like the train sound in the Superman movie is different. And there's a few, like when he throws the crystal, it's a little different sound effect. And it's just, I mean, they're similar, but they're not the same. Mm-hmm. But you can really tell with the gunfire in Batman, because in the original film, you can tell it's that old school gangster kapow, kapow sound to the guns.
Really loud. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the new tracks, it's that very new sleek, just gun sound.
Yeah. It's not as, it's more overproduced sounds in the newer one. And the other one is more raw.
Yeah, and I don't understand where these tracks went. Maybe they lost the licensing, I guess, but that doesn't make any fucking sense too, because it's like you got the movie, you got the rights to the movie, it's there.
Well, not only that, if you make a Foley sound, it's owned by the studio that paid for it, unless whoever owns the Foley office has certain dictations in their contract for it. So it's very peculiar. I mean,
don't say that fall under work for hire.
Yeah. It does fall under work and hire. So I'm just wondering, like, I mean, listen, Warner Brothers, if you're out there, charter me a plane. I will go through your lot and look for all of your stuff and categorize it. I don't care.
This would be interesting.
For a nominal fee.
Well, here's the funny part is, since they've done a lot of these 5.1 remasters and all that kind of stuff on a lot of these older films to now, in just recent years, like Ben Burt of Star Wars fame, who did all the sound effects and all that shit, he and a bunch of these other guys have this new technology now that they're working with, where they can literally, and this is what was used on the Beatles Get Back documentary. They have the technology now to take mono tracks with mixed things and completely separate everything.
Yep.
And have it all in its own individual track, and to where they can take out noise, they can do whatever. And that's how they were able to do the sound finally for Get Back, because all that stuff was on a mono track and there was noise and other crap that they had to take out and stuff like that. But they have technology now that they can do that. And Ben Burt did a 5.1, or actually I think it was a full Dolby Atmos mix for the original War of the Worlds with this technology, because they don't have the original stems anymore.
No, but they use the AI program to essentially demix the audio. It's
exactly. And Paulie has to run, and he had a few things he wanted to share with us real quick here. So, but I just wanted to bring this up with Sander, because this is true. You can do this now. There is technology, and we covered it on this show a little while back, where they're starting to be able, they can do this with like foreign releases, where you can actually have the voice of the actor come through in the different language, and they don't have to worry about voice actors anymore.
It's weird.
So technology has gotten to that point. So you could technically watch Superman with Christopher Reeve having an Irish accent. You're like, yes, Lois, I love Pink very much.
Really?
That would be weird, but funny.
Yeah, I guess. Now, Paul, you wanted to share a few things of good news with us.
Yeah, real quick. I'll do a standalone video on it tomorrow, kind of like a little roundup of some good news and TV shows getting greenlit and stuff. One including George Lopez. He's coming back to sitcom comedy. I'm excited about that. I'll have more news on that. But more importantly, our buddy, independent director Alejandro Montoya Marin, who we had on here, and he showed his trailer here for the first time. He's featured in Deadline tomorrow. And
awesome.
We are going to break that down as well. But apparently, I think he talked about this too with us, as far as he had to direct remotely this short film, because right when they started shooting, this was last year, he got COVID. And so that's pretty interesting. But he's wildly entertaining. He's fantastic, very, very talented. So that's tomorrow. So what I'll do is just a standalone video, but I think that's great news. And from what I'm gathering also with him, he's taking in some big meetings with some heavy hitters that we know. So
nice. And I'll share the trailer for this is for Wednesday, right?
No, that trailer is The Wrong Guy.
Or The Wrong Guy. This is
The Wrong Guy.
Okay.
And
or Monday, I was thinking of was the other one.
You're thinking of right, Monday.
Tuesday was the name of the comic or whatever.
Tuesday was the comic. Monday was a feature film.
I'm like, oh, maybe it's Wednesday the movie. Who knows?
Wednesday is
no, but yeah. So there's the trailer for that. Check that out, you guys, and you'll have that. When are you going to be doing that?
I'll do the standalone videos tomorrow morning. I'll have them up and
okay.
But we had them here. We had him here first on Midnight's Edge.
This is true. And what was the other piece of news, or was that all together?
Yeah, that was all together.
Okay.
I'll talk about. I'll get more details on George Lopez.
All right. So check
back.
out Latino Slant, where you can find Paulie and Midnight's Edge Espanol, of course.
Yeah, guys.
So if you got to slide out, we understand.
Yep.
And speaking of sliding out, Mad has to as well. So we're going to wrap this up here. Action Com says, what's the status of the streamer Crackle? They sold everything to Netflix.
Oh, that exists?
I think it's still around, but I think it just harbors Sony stuff, and it's just their minimum bare baseline shit. Like,
oh, Crackle.
Crackle. Like the original content they had, Sony had sold to Netflix though. Like the Seinfeld show where he's in cars with, or getting coffee with comedians or whatever.
Yeah.
Coffee and talking cars and coffee. Yeah.
There was a couple other shows that Crackle had that.
All
Netflix
you didn't nail the title.
Not a single one of us.
Cars getting coffee.
That's it. That's it. And then Stony D says, "Drive by super chat." Well, thank you so much for the $20.
Comedians getting coffee.
That's something like that. Yeah, we got Elaine in the house. How you doing, Elaine?
Comedians in cars getting coffee.
And so, I'm going to let Mad go next since he's got to slip out first.
Sure.
So, Mad, tell everybody about your channel, what you got going on, coming up with all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah. So, I'm almost done with my Elon Musk video. I don't know if you're aware of him. Pretty big guy. Been in the news a lot. It's going to be like a biopic kind of a little video. Completely 100% true, not made up whatsoever. Kind of a little bit. I'm making it up, but it's going to be awesome. And we are going to be doing, we're going to be putting a pause on Street Spots. We're doing a workshop because we're working on a new project. It's going to be like MXC meets wrestling. And we're talking to a few independent promoters, hopefully that we can use their footage to do our dumb things. And we got a couple actually pretty good bites on that. So that's going to be fun. We're working on characters and how we're going to do all that. And you'll be able to have a peek into it and give suggestions that we will ignore. And so that should be fun for everyone. And that's about it. Check it out over there.
See you later, buddy. Take it easy.
Oh,
all right.
Yep.
Take care, man. Thanks for being here.
Yep.
And then we got Gary with
Thanks
a J.
for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. Gary with a J over at the Pop Culture Minefield.
Yeah, I just saw Nerd Cookies jumped in the chat, and I'm like, hey, Nerd, I private message you over on Twitter. Please respond, because I want to have her on to talk about Dune and Christopher Walken. I love her video today that she put out. It was really good.
I like spice.
Spice. It's good.
It's good. It's good for you. It's good for me.
It's good for me. I don't know.
Makes me want to dance.
It's
I have
not
a
as
bunch.
good as cocaine, but I'll take it.
It gives me that kind of pickup.
My favorite Christopher Walken moment was when he was on Conan O'Brien, and Conan asked him about how he gets his hair like that. And he explained how every night before bed, he would stick his fingers in his hair and pull and pull and pull. And I'm like, oh my God, that guy's crazy.
Awesome.
Pulling his hair at night.
So check out Pop Culture Minefield, right?
Yeah. Pop Culture Minefield. Yeah, we're going to have a show tomorrow with Chuck Dixon. Also my morning show, Morning Coffee. with
The
Gary,
Chuck
right?
Dixon.
Yes, the Chuck Dixon. I always tell him and Graham, what's the point of being friends with you guys if I can't have you on my shows?
Good idea.
Gonna have Chuck on tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I'm just gonna do my morning coffee with Gary thing where I'm just gonna talk about random shit. Probably make fun of Tom or Script Doctor.
Sure.
Never make fun of Valiant. I never do.
I like to have a roast once in a while.
And then Saturday, we're gonna have Polly on. And Polly's going to be there along with Storyman Jack. The first part of the probably.
Oh, I'm watching that. Then you two are going to get into a fight.
Storyman Jack and I get along.
No,
really well.
not him. Paul, you and Polly.
Oh, why?
You two never get along.
We always get along. We like each other a lot. He's the one who started the whole backdoor Gary thing.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all get into. I want to see that. I'll get my popcorn ready and everything.
I love and admire that guy. I really do. I love and admire all you guys. I feel so blessed to have you guys in my life.
No, I try to hang out over there as much as I can, but schedules and all that.
You're like
shit.
one of the busiest fuckers going.
I should be editing a video right now. Actually, I'm not even kidding.
In fact, MEAD Radio. I think I got an announcement. It's about to go.
I wish. I really do. But yeah, thanks for being here, Gary. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Tom, more than you know.
And then we got Valiant himself. How you doing there?
I'm good. Yeah, no.
You got a Disney video people should watch. That's for sure.
Yeah, I put a video out about 5:00 Central this afternoon on the Disney earnings report. Y'all want to go check that out? Kind of break that down. Excuse me. Kind of break that down and go through some of the metrics that were unveiled in that earnings call. I think I shared a little bit of that earlier. So yeah, go ahead, check it out.
And after the show, I am actually going to go watch the video because.
So join Gary and go watch my video when this is done.
With me.
There you go.
Share the shit out.
You'll be watching it at the same time.
I should do a live stream.
It's almost like watching it with Gary. It's like a date.
Yeah, exactly. Just y'all go watch
This
it,
is like Tiger
it, share
Beat.
it, all that kind of good stuff.
Do you remember Tiger Beat?
Yes.
Dream date with Gary.
Dream
Dream date with Tom.
Oh Lord.
Well, that just ruined all of it.
Script, you got anything coming up you want to plug?
Nah.
Well, we're going to be talking
You
about.
want to plug?
Well, we're going to be talking about the Poseidon Adventure at some point this weekend.
Yeah, some point this weekend we're going to talk about the Irwin Allen classic that started the
like
disaster
the original,
movie.
the real
Yes.
Gene
Yeah.
Hackman.
Irwin Allen's
version.
Gene Hackman's Poseidon
Yes.
Adventure.
Oh God, that was so good. I love.
I
that
love.
movie.
Oh my God,
Oh
that is
God,
a great
I love
film.
that movie.
You're going the wrong way.
It was one of the few films where I really liked Shelley Winters.
Why wouldn't you? I like Shelley Winters.
She was always there's just something about her crass voice
actress.
and just I was never a big fan of hers.
I don't know. I always thought she was kind of like the equivalent of like Kathy Bates is now,
like olive oil.
Come on, she was Ma Parker of the Crime Family.
I did enjoy that one too. I like
she
that
was
one.
great in Pete's Dragon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but she was a villain in Pete's Dragon.
I know she plays great everything. She's good.
Yeah,
in, like,
you
I love
love
her.
to
And,
hate
like
her.
I don't understand where. Like I mean, she's good in every.
Let's
kind
just
of,
do an episode on that because I don't want to get into it and ruin the ending of the show.
No.
Jesus
Shelley
Christ,
Winters
Tom. No, drop
is
it.
a fucking national treasure.
Look, I never liked her voice. I also thought she was kind of a
I can understand the voice.
see you next Tuesday as a person. And
I always thought she was.
I used to
thought
watch
heard
the
she-
Tonight Show.
I always
and
thought I
she
heard
was
that she
a
was nice in
loudmouth.
person, but
Well, she was a loudmouth. She was always like take over a show for when Johnny had her on, and then like on Carson's show, she threw a drink in what's his name, Oliver Reed's face, because he was talking about a film and sexism and his approach to women.
You do realize they were all drunk on those shows?
Oh, right? They were both fucking hammered. There's no
everybody always was on those shows.
Yeah. But she throws a drink in his face. I'm like, what?
That's what the green room was for. They would get him all whisked up and drunk.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've had my experience when we went on national TV for my graphic.
Not sloppy drunk, but drunk.
We had Kurt Yeager from Sons of Anarchy, Shane Moore, the author buddy of mine, and myself, and they got us drunk in the green room before going out. And it was just mayhem on that national live show. It was mayhem.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've never been a fan of hers, Shelley Winters.
But yeah, we're going to talk about Poseidon Adventure and bring back A-rated B movies.
When are you doing this?
Movies. I think we're going to do it Saturday.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Like what time?
5 o'clock Central, I think.
Okay, good. I'll be able to watch it.
Louis Berry says, ranking the MCU Phase 4 movies so far. Number 1, No Come Home.
No Come Home.
Number 2, Shang-Chi. Number 3, My Mom. Number 4, Black Widow. I'm liking Black Widow a little bit. Number 5, Eternals. How is this even on the list? There should only be 4 movies. Is Shang-Chi movie?
It's kind of a movie.
Not sure what Shang-Chi is. Sounds like something I had for supper at restaurant.
It's just a disease.
I will have the Shang-Chi pie. Da.
Oh, God.
It has meat in it. And it has a lot of sheep guts and stuff.
Haggis.
I don't know. That's pretty much about where I don't know. I've not watched Shang-Chi yet, to be honest with you. I couldn't get more than 2 minutes into it.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything.
I've seen enough of the Eternal. Well, we just lost Gary.
Oh boy,
everybody's flopping out tonight. Yeah, Louis. Yeah, I can see your list there though. No, Gary, you can't come back in. You left. No, I'm kidding. But no, we're wrapping it up anyhow. Thank you so much, kids, for being here. I have to watch it, Louis. I have to watch it. To be fair, I've heard both good and bad about it. So
ignore Barry, even though he's nice.
We got this one already from ActionCom, but ActionCom's the guy who does all the timestamps for us. So thank you for that. And thank you all for listening and being here today. We appreciate it. There was over 400 of you watching. If it wasn't for you guys, we'd be talking to ourselves. And here's one for Mexican Iron Man since he's not with us. He's still alive. He's just not here today.
Yeah, okay. Mike is not dead. All right, let's clear that up.